It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes, but don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. And some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Good morning, beautiful folks. Happy Tuesday. Another gorgeous day in paradise. Who is with me? Raise your hands. Say, yes, Sandy, I'm here for it. Everybody feeling good? Oh my goodness. Amazing. You know, even the days that you're not 100%, I feel like you still need to jump up and be like, you know what? I've got life. As far as I know, I've got my health. And so we're off to a good start. Feeling good, honey. Yeah. That's the philosophy I'm going to be moving around with. Yes. I need to put on my glasses, though, so I can see what'll go on this morning. We do have some guests who are joining us. I'm just waiting to see them in the back studio. I see one person, Miss Shakira. Good morning. Okay, Christy. That's it, I think, right? That's everybody? Anybody else come and give me a thumbs up if that's everyone? Or are we expecting anyone else? Maybe another person. There is a little chat feature, by the way, where you can type me a little message. Okay, while we get ready for a guest, just give me one quick minute. I am going to get all the links and send that out to everyone. And then, of course, do our morning greetings. Don't forget, super easy, if you're a Facebooker, to find us on Facebook. All you have to do is go to the page and click on the little profile photo. Profile photo, that top kind of left. If you click on that, that will give you, or take you directly actually to the live link. You actually see the little red circle around it that says we are live and direct. Some of you still struggle with Facebook because Facebook is temperamental at best some days. Okay. And then we have, of course, YouTube, you can find us on YouTube as well. I think YouTube is relatively easy to find the stream. Normally, if you just put in the name, Cayman Mall Road, it'll pop up. If you follow the channel, it should actually come up for you. Let me mute that. Yes, there we go. That's YouTube. Should come up for you pretty much right away as well. So all of our links have been updated. Let me just send that to everyone in the channel. And we are also on CMRTV.com. Yep, you can still watch us there. That's our site that's up for all of our shows. You'll find the back shows for content creators, so please check that out. And as we continue to build out the CMR platform and we move into radio, most of those people will have their own radio show as well. So I'm super excited about that for sure. That's going to be good times, as they say. And then let me just see here. Righty-ho, righty-ho. And then you can also find us on 103.1 FM, Bobo. So, yeah. All right, let me put in my earphones here so I can hear. Ooh, get a little bit of feedback there. Oh, wow, where's that feedback coming from? Uh-oh. Hopefully you guys are not hearing that because that's annoying. Okay, good morning, Barbara G. Damaris is in the house. Plain and Straight is here with us. Island Pearl, Miss Juliet Ebanks. Marjorie says, yes, I'm here, Sandy. Yay, let me give you a look. Hold on. I think there's a little hand clap icon thing here for the camera. Oh, that's not working. Oh, well, good to see you, Miss Marjorie. Abby is in the house. We also have C. Ebanks joining us. Good morning, darling. How are you? Marshall joining us all the way from North Carolina. Nice. Love it, love it, love it. I love that Caymanians are all over the world. We've got Evelyn. Evelyn, have you left for vacation yet? She's here. She's saying good morning to the crew. Miss Dean Sinclair is also here with us. Patricia Blake in the house. Diamond Princess, and many more. Instagram, big shout out to all of our Instagram viewers. They are also here for it, including Jerome, K Mars, Caribbean Girl 345, Born Caymanian. Let me see who else. Willie, Luke, The Swimming GP, Real Youth 345, June, Stunna, yes, Dr. Adam. Lots of good folks here. All right, let's go ahead and invite our guests in the studio. I think it's just them. Can we put our virtual hands together, please? First up, we have Miss Christy Watler McElroy. Good morning, Christy. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Uh-oh. Why am I not hearing you? Hold on. No? Trying to figure out why I'm not hearing you. Give me 1 second. Shakira, are you hearing Christy? I'm gonna pull Shakira in. Let me see if I can hear Shakira. Hi, Shakira. Good morning.
Hi, morning.
No, I'm not hearing anybody. What's going on? Uh-oh. Something strange going on in the neighborhood. All right, give me 1 second. Let me try to figure out why. I'm gonna just plug everything back in. In fact, let me just switch my headphones. I got another backup headphone here. Let me see if that one works. Hold on. So strange. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you on that one. Okay. So we'll figure out that other one a bit later on. Not quite sure what's going on there. But I can
hear both of us?
Yes, I can now hear you. It's a little bit strange why I couldn't, but
Ooh.
oh, but we're getting some feedback somewhere.
Yeah,
along
there's
the
a
line.
lot of echoing.
Yeah, okay. Can you guys hear me?
Okay.
Okay. Not sure what is going on here. Oh boy, hold on. I think we gotta figure something out. All right, give me one quick second. I'm going to just restart something and hope that fixes everything. Folks, just bear with me. We got some technical issues here, but we're gonna try to get this sorted out quickly.
My name is Williamson Henson. I'm from Thurston Caicos. I just completed my hip surgery in Health City through National Health Insurance Board. I had a dirt bike accident. I hit really hard. I lost some teeth, some metal in my hands. I had metal on my right hand as well, on my left hand. Glass still remains on my knees, and I broke my socket bone, my hip bone. I broke the whole socket bone. And National Health Insurance Board gave me a call on my birthday. It made me cry, but I tried to hold my composure. It made me cry because I was waiting for 10 months. It was on a Wednesday, my birthday, and they say this Monday coming, you're going to Cayman Island to have a hip replacement surgery.
When Mr. Williamson came to us, he had a 10-month-old fracture, which was operated at some other place, where he got a fragmented acetabulum, which was into almost 4 to 5 parts, and his hip was out of his place. Also, along with that, his right leg was shorter than left one by 2.5 inches, and he has a tremendous pain and was not able to walk and stand on that leg as well.
The first surgery affected my lifestyle because certain things I could not do for myself. It was all about crutches.
We removed the implant, cleared all the tissue, we put a new socket for there, and then the hip was replaced. And also we corrected the shortening, which was almost 2.5 inches, which came back to normal.
And he actually told me hip replacements in Cayman Island, you're gonna walk the same few hours. And what made me real happy is he said it and it was done for real. I started walking like literally in 23 hours.
Yeah, it's like a complex primary revision replacement. You can see that where you need to have some implants which are really advanced in the world, which we have at Health City. We have a dual mobility cup, which is a state-of-art, newer type of an implant, which is going to be making your hip absolutely stable, more durable, and has to function absolutely like a normal person.
I'll say a big thank you, first of all, to NIB and Health City case worker and the host from Health City for communicating and well taking care of me behind my back. It was like every time I think about something, they already on it. It was my birthday. I was quite happy because I was waiting on the call to get the surgery done. But I'm happy now, it's done. I can walk. I just can't wait to get back to the kids and be like, oh, look at that. Thank you, Health City, for restarting my life with my hip replacement surgery.
Okay, good morning again. Let me go ahead and see if we can pull our guest back in. Just unmute yourselves for me, please. And let's try that one more time. I'm not sure what was going on, but good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, I can hear you just fine.
Both of us?
Okay, yes, I can hear both of you. Thank you so much. All right, ladies. So we have Miss Christy joining us this morning and Miss Shakira, both from the Ministry of Youth, Sports. I always forget which comes next. Heritage?
Culture and heritage.
Yes. So ladies, thank you both so much for joining us this morning. We're going to be talking about summer camps. Now, we had the Department of Sports come on earlier in the summer to give us a whole list of summer camps that were being held across the island. And it was a lot of items, in fact. So can we get an update on how the camp has actually been going? The camps, plural.
Oh, the camps, Department of Sports, yes, they are full. They're at capacity and it's going quite well.
Okay.
From last speaking to Miss Melinda on everything that they've been doing. So,
all right. And you guys have some other camps coming up as well.
Well, we have the ministries putting on the Beat of Our Hearts summer drumming camp.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that we've come on today to promote.
Okay.
It's new and exciting. It's a new cultural initiative being offered by us.
Mm-hmm.
where children can come and learn new techniques on how to play the drums. We are bringing in Mr. Willie Stewart. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He was a part of the Third World Band, right?
Yeah.
So he runs a program out of Miramar, Florida, called Solutions in Music. Yeah. And it's geared towards at-risk students in the school system. And the minister took a group of his team over to watch their concert earlier this year, and it was magnificent. So that's kind of like a little history on what has brought us to where we are today to have bring this initiative to Grand Cayman.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about what the children can expect from this camp.
To learn how to play the drums.
Yes.
Make organized noise. I'm just joking.
Yeah, no. I mean, drumming is it's a proper instrument. I think a lot of people don't always recognize that, but some of the most amazing musicians are actually, they play the drums, and there's different types of drums, and I mean, it's a whole other world. I think that drums unfortunately get a bad rap because people do think that you just sit there and make a bunch of noise, and they don't understand how drumming adds to the the entire ensemble when you're in, whether you're like in a chorus or you're in a band. Drumming can certainly add a different layer of talent to what it is that you're actually listening to. And I think oftentimes you hear it, but you don't hear it with drums. You know what I mean? They're kind of like the low-key instrument that you can kind of bypass really, really easily. So no, I like that somebody is going to be offering a class in drumming, a camp, and hopefully the kids can learn a bit more and, appreciate the world of drumming. So tell us, tell us a little bit about the schedule then for the camp, and we'll get all the camp details. And of course, we need to find out more about registration as well.
All right. So it's going to be running from August 10th to the 15th. The 15th is a Saturday night. So they'll have a showcase on everything that they've learned throughout the week. And the public will be invited free of cost. The time for the camp is 4 to 7 p.m. And it's going to be at the Intergenerational Hub, which is behind Price Right next to DHL. Ages are 14 to 18. And of course, as I said, cost is completely free.
Nice. Can we talk a little bit about the Intergenerational Hub? Because I feel like this is such an amazing asset that unfortunately a lot of people just don't know a whole lot about, which is unfortunate because it is such a little gem. It's located where, what's the name of it? What used to be their furniture store, I think way back in the day, was there. And it's right next to the is it DHL office?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So right around the corner from Foster's, folks, in case you still have no clue where we're talking about. But the ministry has taken over that building, and they have it. It's a workable space. It's a space that the community is supposed to be using. You can go there, you can reserve it, you can use it. It's got a great space, I think, for like seniors to sit down and play dominoes and do activities. We're gonna have to do a refresher tour on it because it's a really great location. So that's gonna be the location for the camp. How many children can actually sign up for it?
25.
25. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So it's not a huge camp. So you want to make sure that you get in early for this one, folks.
Spaces are very limited.
Yeah. So tell me how parents then can go about getting registered.
All right. So they can email the events team at ysch-events@gov.ky. Or they can also go onto Instagram. The link for the form is in our bio. And our Instagram handle is at MYSCH_Cayman.
Okay.
And I mean, also, if you're unable to do any of that, you can come by the Intergenerational Hub. We're on the second floor, and we'll sign you up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Is there an age, spectrum for the kids to do the camp?
14 to 18.
But we are
so this
taking
is a
them if they have an
teenager.
older sibling.
The youngest we'll take is 12 if they have
Okay,
an
yes,
older
thank you for
sibling
adding that.
attending as well.
Oh, this is good. This is like for older teens. Oh, I like this. Because sometimes they struggle for something fun to do as well. They complain that, oh, there's just stuff for the younger kids. So this is great. So 14 to 18, but if you have a sibling that's in that age group that's attending, they'll take from 12 and up. So yeah, so that sounds like a great opportunity. So again, folks, this camp has limited space. Registration is now open. Is there a date that you're planning on closing registration or just until the class is full?
Just up until it's full.
All right. Well, it's only 25 people. That might happen today.
We're hoping.
We're hoping.
Yes. All right, folks, if you're just joining us, you're just waking up, please be minded that this is a drumming camp that the ministry is hosting starting on the 10th, which is coming up in, oh my gosh, just a few weeks.
Yep.
So it's going to be that week. 25 children can register, 14 to 18, 12 and up if you have a sibling that is also going to be attending. Do they need to bring anything in terms of like lunch, snacks? Tell me some of those details.
No, we'll be providing refreshments for them. They just need to come with a really good spirit and ready to learn, ready to go.
Okay. And how many drums? I mean, is there going to be drum sets for everyone, or how's that part of it going to work?
Yes. Unfortunately, I wasn't involved in the ordering, but I do know that they're on island and we have a substantial amount. So probably each person will get their own drum, and that's why they've capped it at 25.
Oh, nice. That's amazing. You know what you guys need to do next? A steel pan camp. I want to come to that one. Make that open for adults.
Me too.
I think we all do. We've kind of
I
lost
have,
that.
I have always wanted, like every time I see these kids playing, I'm in awe of the steel pan. Like I want to learn. It's just so amazing.
It's exciting.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, folks. So listen, don't delay on this because I know some of you are thinking, oh, I'll do that next week. The camp is until the 10th. There are only 25 slots. So you want to get in there as early as possible, get registered. Again, just go ahead and give us the registration details one more time so that people can get on it.
All right. So it is YSCH-events@gov.ky. If you want to send us an email, and then the form is also in the ministry's bio, Instagram bio, and our handle is at MYSCH_Cayman.
Okay. And yes, Christy.
I've also sent you the link that you can.
Oh, awesome.
Post
Yeah, we're going to be
flyer as well.
Absolutely. So we'll make sure that we share that on social media as well. So Beat of Our Heart, drumming summer camp, all about keeping the art and music of drumming alive. Mr. Willie Stewart is going to be, he's a former drummer and percussionist of Third World Band. I think this is amazing that our young people can get access to him. That's quite good. And yes, he is going to be the one conducting this camp, and it's going to be at the Intergenerational Hub on the 2nd floor. All you have to do, folks, is sign your kids up. It's free. It's an amazing opportunity for your children to get involved in something perhaps that's new and different to them. And they may discover that they really quite love the drums. I mean, yeah, I like this. Fantastic. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. I think that's it, right, ladies?
That is it from us. I just want to slip one other event in real quick that I want to get on your radar and on your listeners' radar. We have Mr. Oliver Samuels from Jamaica, the comedian. Out of there, everybody knows him. He is going to be coming in on the 8th and 9th of August. And the ministry will be hosting his latest play. Where there's a will, there's a criminal, and promises to be a good time. And there's when you get the story behind that play, the name, you're gonna crack up. But we want to just get your listeners aware that this is coming, and we're gonna come back on next week and talk more about it. And we're gonna send you some promotional pieces also.
Yes, child. I'm already laughing. Just the title.
Here's our character.
We should also plug that this will also be a free event.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. The ministry's got a lot going on. All right. I love it. Thank you,
Yes, ma'am.
ladies.
Thank you so much.
so much. Have a fantastic day.
You too.
All right, my dear. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so that one sounds like a lot of fun as well. But in the meantime, get your kids registered for this Beat of Her Heart Drumming Summer Camp. It's going to be August the 10th through the 16th, 4 to 7 p.m., ages 4 to 18. They'll do 12 and up if an older sibling will be attending the camp as well. And it's at the Intergenerational Hub on the 2nd floor. And I like that this one is actually in the evenings because, you know, sometimes during the day you've got other stuff going on with the kids. Now you can do for that week a little evening camp as well. Don't forget that summer is going by rather quickly. I should remind you as parents, we do have some dates that your children need to return to school. So we posted this on social media, but just in case you have missed it, we do have the dates for the 2026-2027 academic year for government schools coming out of the Department of Education Services. So this is the start dates for government schools, important orientation registration, and reopening information. Get your pencils ready, honey child, because I'm going to give you the rundown on what you need to know. All right, so what's orientation? Orientation is mandatory for students and those enrolling in a government school for the first time. So if this is their first time, they're transferring or they're coming in, or, you know, they're the little ones, and this is going to be the first time, you got to go to orientation. The session helps students, parents, and guardians prepare for a successful transition, and parents and guardians must attend according to school requirements. So this is quite important, folks. Make sure you understand what your obligations are as a parent or as a guardian. All right. Now here's the orientation schedule depending on the school. So we have all the way from Creek and Spot Bay Primary School. This is on Tuesday, August the 25th. So it looks like all of the government schools are having orientation that day. It's just different times throughout the day. So Creek and Spot Bay Primary, 11 a.m. to 12. East End Primary School, 9 to 12. Edna Moyle Primary School, that's the one there in North Side. That's 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Joanna Clark Primary School in Savannah is 8:30. Ooh, honey child, they having to get up early. They're like, oh, we're going to get you ready to get back in your school schedule. 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. We've got the Lighthouse School, that's 9 to 10:30 a.m. Marie Martin Primary School, formerly known as the Georgetown Primary School, it's from 9 a.m. until 10:30. Then we have the Prospect Primary School, which is also starting at 9 a.m., but that one goes until 11 a.m. Red Bay Primary School, 9:30 to 11. And then the Sir John A. Cumber Primary School, 9 to 10. And then we have the Theolin McCoy Primary School, that's formerly Boddentown. That is from 9 a.m. until 10:30. And then the West End Primary School in Kimmenbrack from 11 a.m. until 12. Okay, so if your kids, again, going into government school for the first time, please make note of these dates. And maybe we'll have someone from the ministry to tell us kind of what the rundown is in orientation. All right. So then we have the reopening. So all government schools will reopen on Wednesday, August the 26th. And that's orientation, registration, and other activities for specific groups will be held on dates set by the school. So we just went through what the orientations are. So then we have the individual schools. And all of this we've already posted on social media, so you can always just go and have a look. We have the individual reopening for each one. So for example, for the Cayman Islands Further Education Center, we have student registration on the 26th from 9 a.m. until 11. And that's all year 12 students, including dual enrollment students, must attend. So then we have on the 28th of August, that's their orientation day for students with the surnames beginning A through L. That's 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. And then August the 31st, The rest of the students with surnames beginning with M through Z come at 7:50 a.m. until 2:50 p.m. So again, this is the Cayman Islands Further Education Center. All right. And then we have the John Gray schedule. So let me just pull up John Gray and Clifton Hunter. Give me 1 second here. All right. So John Gray, pay attention, folks. If your child is going to John Gray, here's your reopening schedule. On the 25th is the orientation, which we mentioned earlier, from 8 a.m. until noon. Again, that's for newly registered or transfer students, including year 7 students. Then on the 26th, they have the resumption of classes. So all students must attend in full school uniform and bring your laptops. Okay, that's 8 a.m. until 2:55 p.m. And then we have on the 26th as well, release of exam results. Oh, they're getting exam results from what, the previous year? Huh. All right, well, there you go. That's your 11 students meet in the gymnasium for results and initial consultation from 9 a.m. to 11 on August the 26th as well. All of this is new to me. You know, I don't know anything about how this works. So I do find it interesting. What can I say? I'm not there yet, so I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. All right, Clifton Hunter High School. Again, very, very similar. On the 25th, you've got the release of exam results from 9 to 11. Then you have, that's your 11 students. On August the 25th, you've got orientation day for newly registered or transfer students, including year 7 students. And then on the 27th, resumption of classes. All students must attend in full uniform and bring laptops. But I'm a little bit confused by this. I thought school started on the 26th. So what does Clifton Hunter do on the 26th? All right, let me inquire about this because I am a little bit confused by that. Maybe I'm missing something. It's possible. Like I said, let me just see, education. Okay. It's just weird that they said all schools start. And then I don't see anything for the 26th for them. All right, let me just clarify. Okay. Okay, we'll see if we can get them to come on before the school restarts as well. But yeah, so we've got some questions there. Let me just get some clarification on that one. And then that was Clifton Hunter. And then we have the Lehman Scott High School in Cayman Brac as well. So let me just share that for our Brackers, just in case. Lehman Scott, 1 second. Let me see. Here we go. All right. So Lehman Scott, then from August 18th, my birthday. Happy birthday to me. So August 18th, from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m., they have a slightly different schedule. They're going to have for newly registered or transfer students, excluding year 7, so not year 7 in this one. And then, so they do, oh, they're doing things different in the back. And then August 25th, they have orientation. Course selection and registration for dual enrollment and vocational studies students. And then August the 26th, year 7 through 11 and year 12 vocational students must attend in full uniform and bring their laptops. And then August the 31st, they're doing all dual enrollment students report for classes at the Lehman Scott High School, subject to confirmation of UCCI start dates. You know, I never realized that they offered dual enrollment in Cayman Brac as well. So that's good. That's really good. All right, Miss Amelia asking, is that camp free? Yes, it is. Government has made a number of camps, including through the department, completely free. And I think that that's amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for making that available to our young people. I love it. All right, let me just have a look here. Look, see. Let me see. Right. Marshall, good morning. He had a laugh at the name of that play. That is so funny. I couldn't help but laugh at that one. I will definitely be attending that one for sure. His Oliver, his plays are so hilarious. I had the opportunity a number of years ago to actually go. I think I've only been to like one, and it was so funny because it was about Hurricane Sandra. I think was it Hurricane Sandy? I think that was the name of it, Hurricane Sandy. And let me just tell you, it was hilarious. It was such a laugh, and I was sitting right in the front row. I'll never forget it. And of course, I did not know that this is what it was all about until I was sitting there and I was like, oh, Hurricane Sandy. Okay. He is really funny. And I'm so pleased that he has made a career out of comedy, because it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. But the Caribbean over the years have really, really supported him. All right, we're getting our video queued up here for Ministry Matters with the Honourable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks, and Minister of Health, Environment, and Sustainability. So we're going to be playing that here just for you guys in just a minute. And then, yeah. So Amelia says, kudos to the ministry. I visited that location hoping to get some programs started for my seniors, but it didn't happen. I was interested in sewing and computer classes. Well, why didn't it happen, Miss Amelia? Make it happen, honey child. Make it happen. Yep. Welcome back, Miss Amelia. Where have you been? You on vacation or what? She says, I don't see you. Hold on. Let me turn on my camera. Here we go. Oh boy. What is up with this camera? I thought Marlon said he fixed this last night. Ay. Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can get it going again. I mean, it was working for a minute last night. I did see it on. Now it's being temperamental again. Oh, honey child. Technology. What can you do? Can't live without it, and sometimes seems like we can't live with it either. All right, let me just close it and then see if I can get it restarted. You know, this only motivates me to go buy another camera, so you better behave yourself if you want to continue being used in my studio. Ay. What can you do? All right, let's see. Yay! Woohoo! That's what you get. A little threat to the camera worked. All right. Everybody good? Honey child. All right, while that video is queuing up, just give me a few seconds here. Wanted to read some message. We miss seeing you. The audio ring around your photo each time you talk is hypnotizing me. Oh my gosh, we do not want you to get hypnotized. Trust and believe. Oh, wow. So some of you reached out yesterday in relation to the gentleman that we were talking about with, let me just see here now. Who's now serving 6.5 years for jail. And someone gave me an update on the 15-year-old that he was also with. And they said that she was being manipulated by him. Hold on one second. Let me actually look at the messages. Let me read it properly. Okay, here we go. Someone sent a comment in. I'm just trying to, let me just see if I can find it again. The computer's moving a little bit slow today. So, okay, here we go. Yes. You got to keep your children, parents, trust me when I beg you to please keep an eye out for your young girls and boys, because they are easily, a lot of times, brought into situations that, they shouldn't be. It's just so sad. I hate to see our young kids being taken advantage of. All right, so let me just grab this comment real quick so we can show it on the screen and we can read it together. So I knew I wasn't imagining it when I told you that there was also some relationship with a 15-year-old child. And so this person confirmed and gave us a little bit of an update and said that the 15-year-old girl, oh God, I didn't realize that had a name in it. Okay, hold on one second. Hold on. I'm gonna remove that. Okay, give me 1 second. But basically, give me 1 second. All right, good morning. Did I miss the minister? Not yet. Coming up. Just doing one final prep on the video, and we are pulling it in. And is this the guy again who is, by the way, we have a guy who has been hating on Cayman. I think, is that him? Is that the same guy again with the ticket? We're going to talk about him tomorrow. Some people just love attention. Somebody said the camera is not clear. Oh, glare on my TV. Yeah, I think that's always been there. And your face is blurry on YouTube. Uh-oh. Well, let me see if let me just see if Facebook is the same. That could require, yeah, I see what's going on. Normally that requires a whole refreshing thing. I'm telling you guys, there's so many moving parts to this. Oh, yes, that's horrible. Oh my goodness. No bueno. All right, give me 1 second. Let me just refresh. Got pissed off and turned itself off. All right, give me 1 second here.
Greetings, Cayman. I want to talk to you today about something that has affected our country for decades. The tension between how we build and how we nurture our environment. For too long, this tension that has led to delays, legal battles, and mistrust. The NCFC government does not accept that we have to choose between a thriving economy and a beautiful natural environment. We can have both. That's the whole premise behind a new initiative called Cayman Forward. The status quo isn't working for anyone. Not for those who build, not for those who protect. So this time, we chose to try something different. Over the past 3 months, government and private sector representatives took part in a structured dialogue process, guided by independent policy consultants. It included stakeholder consultation and a full-day summit, producing a report with 9 key findings and 13 recommendations. This week, caucus and cabinet reviewed and approved these recommendations in full. Implementation is phased across 4 timeframes: 30, 60, 180 days, and beyond. Any legislative changes will go through the usual public consultation process. Our immediate focus over the next month is on 4 things. First, establishing START, the Strategic Task Force for Action, Reform and Transformation, led by my office, to be the overarching body coordinating the delivery of every recommendation of the report. Second, delegating certain planning decisions from the CPA to professional planning officers so routine applications get a faster response. Third, introducing binding timelines for how quickly the National Conservation Council, the Central Planning Authority, and the Development Control Board in the Sister Islands must respond to referrals and applications. No more open-ended waiting. And fourth, requiring that these entities regularly publish their minutes and their reasoning so the public can see how decisions are made. We are also advancing work on an updated National Development Plan, which will come to Parliament later this year. Cayman Forward has given us a clear roadmap for a shared decision framework based on evidence and collaboration. I want to thank everyone who took part. It hasn't always been easy, but people who haven't sat in the same room in years came together in good faith and found common ground. That gives us real hope. I believe we are turning a page, building in Cayman, where we look after our people and our land for this generation and future generations. Thank you, and God bless.
Absolutely love it. Let me just see if we can get the camera sorted. Do let me know if that's any better. Thank you, C.E. Banks. Says you still look beautiful though. Aw, you're so sweet. I just put on my little face serum moisturizer. Look there. My décolletage. Got to keep the face moisturized, honey child. The dry skin is what does so much, you know. Oh, and I get I trying to drink more water, but you know, I'm not much every once in a while you'll find me with a little foundation, a little makeup, but honestly, I just believe in putting on some moisturizer and you know, you're good to go. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it though. Not yet. Coming up. Give me 1 second. I'm just rendering something in the background. It's at about 68%, 69%. So we'll soon be ready. In the meantime, is that any better? Is it more clear now? Let me have a look. See. Let's see what we're looking at. Is it still blurry? Yeah, it's not a very good connection today. I don't know what is going on. It's probably not even me or my internet. It might be something else going on. Blurry, no bueno. So would you rather see me blurry, or how about we just go back to this? Yeah, that means that it has nothing to do with me. If I refresh and it's still blurry, I'll report it to the server people. And you know what is so crazy is last night I had to renew my subscription for the system that we use to stream. Ooh, honey child, it's not cheap. Let me just say that I have 2,700 reasons to email them this morning and be like, get your ish together. Why am I looking like, you know, my audience is, they're all not wearing their glasses this morning. Everybody looks blurry. Like, come on now, get it together. Cha. I tell you. C.E. Banks said, we don't care if you're blurry. We want to see you. All right. Did you see this amazing video while we're waiting on that video to come up? It's coming and going, but no, leave it like that. You're still, oh, thank you so much, Miss Omiria. There was a video that's been circulating, and I want to play this. This is so nostalgic, just reminding us from whence we've cometh, from whence we came, And it's all about our Cayman heritage. And so for those of you who've not had the opportunities, I know some of you don't necessarily have social media, or, you know, you miss a lot on social media because there's always so much going on. I wanted to share this video and thank Mr. Bodden. I think it's Sean Bodden. I don't know which Sean Bodden, but whoever Sean Bodden is, thank you very, very much for making this video. And it just made me all warm and fuzzy on the inside. Have a listen, folks.
Nothing lasts the way you think it will. A way of life can just fade. We built them out of what grew here. Mahogany, cedar. You could smell a yard before you saw it. Tools and knowledge were passed down. That was tradition. There was no choice. You went to sea, away from everything, keeping our families fed, counting the days until you came home. Not all of us came back. That was always the risk. There was pride in knowing your hands could build something another man would trust his life to. It wasn't small, what we did here. This is how it all began. Now it's just something we remember.
So it is, thank you so much, Sean Bodden, for creating that, and definitely something that touches us, yeah, in a very special way. So, yeah. Mr. Amelia said, nope, needs to look in the face once talking to you. It's all about that face expression, but you can't even see me because I'm so blurry. Oh my gosh, what a mess. Wow. All right. All right. Okay, I'm just sending them a quick message about the blurriness. I'm sure there's probably something going on their servers, but they may already be aware of it. And hopefully they'll be able to fix it ASAP. All right, let me just check on the minister. 99%, we're almost there. Just give me one quick second, and then we're going to be uploading that for your listening pleasure. So while we're doing that, let me just remind you, because some of you don't tune in every single day, and you may miss bits and pieces of what's going on. So Ministry Matters. Let's talk about what Ministry Matters is. So Ministry Matters is an ongoing program where the various ministries, and they do have to register and sign up, and we put out content. The various ministries have the opportunity to come on board in collaboration with the CMR platform, and they're able to share exactly what it is that they're doing. As the former DG said, no more silent victories. And that's really the underlying objective here. No more silent victories. You've got to let the people know what it is that you're doing, right? So we know that comms sometimes can be challenging in terms of getting the word out there from the government's perspective. So the Ministry Matters allows almost like a spotlighting on the individual ministries that wish to get involved. And unfortunately, some of them have not. So I'll tell you which ones have. We obviously, one of the reasons you see the Honourable Ralston Anglin, right away, he was on board. So he does come on a regular basis. I know he's on holiday right now, but we have some video clips that will be, some short video clips that we'll be playing for him. We now have the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability. So we have Minister of Education Training, and he's also the Finance Minister. So it's Finance and Economic Development. And if you missed that last interview that we did with him, we will be placing it just on the social media channels for you to view as well. It was so much information. Really, really good information. He has a way of explaining things where you can really understand it, especially when it comes to finance. Because I'm like, listen, no financial guru, but I am so willing to learn and to listen. And so thank you so much to Minister Anglin, who can break down those more complex issues, which I think is really important. We also have Mr. J's ministry. So that's PLAHI, Planning, Land, Agriculture, Housing, and Infrastructure. And so we're expecting him actually to come on this Thursday as part of his Ministry Matters segment. So he'll be on Thursday telling you guys about the grand opening of something that's like super, super exciting. And his ministry always has a lot going on because he has a lot going on. We have the Premier's ministry as well. Now he will be coming on. He was supposed to come on before he went on holiday to talk about the Cayman Forward, but unfortunately the dates were I think he wasn't well. His voice wasn't doing too great. And so hopefully when he returns from holiday, we'll be able to get him on. I'm just trying to think of who else. I'm obviously Mr. Isaac's ministry. So that's Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture, and Heritage. We also have, it's probably easier for me to tell you who we don't have. We don't have the Deputy Premier's ministry, and we don't have the ministry responsible for not border control, WRC. Oh yes, we have Minister Nicholas DaCosta. And we will be, as part of their Ministry Matters, we will be having Mr. Marlon Bodden coming on in short order. So any of your immigration questions and queries, he is the man of the hour. So I can't wait to have that date confirmed. So they come on the program. It can be them, their chief officers, department heads, all of them come on. We do postings for them on social media. We promote their events. So that's why you saw the ministry on this morning talking about their summer camps and anything that they have going on. It really is a direct line of communication to the biggest audience, here in the Cayman Islands. So thank you so much for all of the, is it much clearer? Thank you, Paul, for your feedback. Thank you so much for all of the ministries that have come on board. So yeah. So I think it's just those two. Who else is a minister? I think I've got everyone, right? It's just those two, the premier, the deputy premier, and so it's just the NCFS folks. Not NCF. NCFC is the coalition government. The Cayman Islands, what's the purple party called again? Oh, Lord, I've forgotten. But just those two. So just the deputy premier and Minister Miles, I think, are the only two. All right. The camera is clear now. What? Just as I'm about to come off to pull in the minister, the camera decides to clear up. Oh, well, there you go. What did they say? Life just sometimes just laughs at you. Okay, so put your virtual hands together, please, for the Honourable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks. She is here to talk about, this is her first Ministry Matters interview, and so we had a lot of ground to cover about what her ministry has been up to for the past year. All right, stay tuned, folks. To have a first row seat, if you will, to sit down with ministers as well as chief officers and others on their team to really just keep the country abreast of what is happening within respective ministries across government. We aim to do this at least once a month. Of course, if the ministers and their teams are available more than that, then we invite them on as much as we possibly can. So first of all, thank you so much, Minister, for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to sit down with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to sharing with you and the public what we've been busy working on in the ministry.
Yes. So it's quite a bit. It's already a year in. So for this first Ministry Matters segment, looking back over the past year across health, environment, and sustainability, what progress are you proudest of? Now, I know you've been busy, so there's probably a lot, but if you had to pick out maybe one thing that you can say, we have really moved the needle in regards to this, what would it be?
Well, I think, Sandra, the moving the needle certainly has started to take place. For the ministry, what we've been focusing on is on health reform from a health perspective. And so that has been, the public hasn't really seen a whole lot of what we've been working on quite yet. What I'm most excited about in that regard is that we have our draft legislation just about ready to take to Parliament for our September sitting. So I'm really excited about that because that is going to be a game changer as it relates to, quality of healthcare in Cayman. There's so many things, it's hard to just pick out one. From the environment, I think from the environmental standpoint, I'm excited that we were able to get the litter amendment bill over the finish line. And more importantly, we have now received the draft regulations back from the legal department. And as everybody has talked about for a very long time, you need to have teeth. You need to have teeth in the legislation. So very excited to almost have the litter regulations ready to roll out. And once that's done, then all the concerns that you've seen, people complaining about derelict cars that are staying on the side of the road for too long, the regulations then will help us with the enforcement arm. So that's pretty much what I've been excited about. And then in addition to that, the Ministry of Health also just completed our movement challenge, and that was very successful. We had over 1,000 participants register for the movement challenge. And again, it's just, I think, a national conversation and trying to get everyone involved in a new behavior, controlling your health by moving your body, something as simple as that.
Yeah, no, it's very, very exciting. So we're going to do a deep dive into very, very specific areas, obviously, and health is definitely the one that we will be beginning with. So your ministry actually touches in a lot of different areas. Prevention seems to be the one thing that runs through, if we were talking about a common theme, right? Whether it's sustainability, whether it's environment, whether it's health, prevention, really getting ahead of these things. What does that look like day to day, you would say, for an average family, like the improvements that you're making? So you just mentioned one, which I think is significant, the litter. When we drive on our streets, not having to see that every day is going to be amazing. Or if a vehicle is reported, to see it move a lot quicker than staying there for weeks or potentially even months. But what else do you think when it comes to the theme of prevention? Families are thinking, right, how will this impact my life on a day-to-day basis?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's a big question because, as you said, it pretty much impacts everything. I think from a health standpoint, one of the things that we've been focusing on in the ministry is, from a preventative measure, is working towards getting to a place of rolling out our HEARTS program. And the HEARTS program is a program that will offer access to healthcare, free access to healthcare for persons who have been displaying symptoms of hypertension and trying to get those conditions under control, the non-communicable diseases, before they spill over into a more significant illness, or what we've been seeing through the ministry, the famous NGS 55, that usually the government will have to budget approximately $60 million per year. Our goal is to bring that number down by ensuring that our residents have more access to healthcare, more frequent access to healthcare. So we're working on that. And we're just about finished with the pharmacy. There's so many different regulations and legislation. The pharmacy regulations and the Pharmacy Act doesn't commence until the pharmacy regs are ready. And once the pharmacy regs are ready, then we can roll out the HEART program. But I think that is significant as it relates to the ministry in terms of the preventative care. What we've done though is from prevention, we've increased the HPV vaccination program. And I've been talking a lot about collaboration and asking the private practitioners to partner with government. And so this is an example of seeing that in action. We have a number of private clinics that have joined in with government to offer the HPV vaccination free of cost. And this is a vaccine that is catered to young people, ages, 9 to 25, I believe, if the numbers are correct. And it is to prevent cancer, various forms of cancer within young people. So again, trying to ensure, we don't really have a lot of data on the statistics of our cancer statistics on island, but we know for sure that by offering this vaccination to our young people, we're doing, a great deal of prevention from health perspective.
Yeah, I'm glad that you actually brought up the HPV vaccine, because recently we saw some news coming out of the UK where now they can definitively say that vaccine has, almost now in the UK. I'm just going to read this off because I think this is such a game changer. And just about last week it was released. But a landmark UK study has found that women who were offered the HPV vaccine as adolescents had an almost zero risk of dying from cervical cancer before age 30 now. So this is the first study that has directly demonstrated a reduction in cervical cancer deaths, not just infections or precancerous lesions. So when we talk about vaccinations, this is why vaccines are important. They've been game changers. They're saving lives. And, now 164 countries around the globe have introduced HPV vaccination programs nationally or subnationally. And so, of course, Cayman is one of those 164 nations. But there's so many moving parts to health. So let us dig a little bit deeper. So the Move It Cayman campaign, which has just wrapped up, you say was very, very successful. It drew over 1,000 Team Fit registrations over 12 weeks, and it just wrapped up at the John Gray High School there. What did that response tell you? And then second to that, how do we now keep the momentum going now that the campaign is over?
So first, let me start with your second question. How do we keep the momentum going? While I have an opportunity, I want to let the public know that the survey has been extended. So for those persons who participated, if you didn't get a chance to complete the survey, please visit the ministry's website and complete the survey to share how you found the experience. Did you use the app? How did you find the app? And then in terms of where we go from here, and what was your first, pretty much, for where do we go from here, right?
Yeah, so, what did the response tell you? Because that was a really good response.
The response tells us that the people in the Cayman Islands are concerned about their health. And I think everybody wants to do whatever they can to be healthier. And it doesn't cost anything, after dinner to go out for a walk with your family. So again, what it says is that the public health unit, which is now, and this is another thing that I'm proud of in the ministry, we are now transitioning the public health unit from HSA to the ministry. And from a public health standpoint, we want to ensure that our residents are healthier. And so giving them the information and saying, this is how you control your health. So following the movement challenge, which is part of the implementation of the STEP survey, then we will go into educating the public on, well, what do you do? How can you couple healthy eating with exercise? So the ministry is going to be rolling out an educational campaign on reading food labels and, looking at how much sodium you should consume. And so I'm excited about that part, because I think a lot of us still have a lot to learn on how we can control our health by just what we put in our bodies.
And so I think the takeaway here really, and I know this of course on a personal level, is when people are engaging each other, we're talking about it,
Yes.
we're having conversations like, maybe let's not do fast food today. That'll be once in a while of a treat, but stay more focused on our diet, get moving. You might have seen that for a number of months we were doing a squat challenge during the morning show. Yes. And people were like reminding me, hello, you've not gotten up and done your squat challenge. We've fallen off the wagon a little bit now, but we're going to get back. But yeah, when you have that camaraderie, you have the group think really, where people are like, we can do this together. Let's motivate each other. The buddy system,
Yes.
holding people accountable. Did you get your steps in today? So that's healthcare at a community level.
Correct.
And it works.
It does work.
Yeah. So
does work.
really, really interesting. And I'm looking forward to seeing the next rollouts as that program continues. So you talked about public health unit and the transfer to the ministry started in April.
Right.
So in plain terms, tell us what changes for the public. How will the public see a difference when it comes to public health?
So the only difference at this stage is that the public health unit that focuses on collecting the data for our community, educating the public, such as the movement challenge, that really came from the public health unit, looking at health programs, whether that's a vaccination program, whether that's a screening program, that will all come from the public health unit that sits in the ministry. The benefit of having it sit in the ministry is that, first and foremost, it takes that responsibility off of a healthcare facility so they can focus on patient care. And then from our perspective at the ministry, it makes it easier for other facilities to comply with the law, right? Because you're no longer seen as reporting to what would be seen as perhaps maybe a competitor, right? So you're not reporting your findings to another health facility. So that is the benefit of having the public health unit sit under the ministry. And that's just the interim phase. We're moving further than that. And the goal is to move and transition from a public health unit to a Department of Public Health.
Okay.
Again, then, broadening out the scope of work. But for now, this is where we're at.
Yeah.
And so far, the CMO, the deputy CMO.
All right, folks. My apologies for having to interrupt the minister's interview, but we've just been made aware that there was several earthquakes happening. So, of course, Minister, that was a pre-recorded interview, so we'll pick it back up in just a second. But I'm receiving multiple reports of people having felt that earthquake, at least two or multiple earthquakes and aftershocks, maybe 2 to 3 times. So 3 times in less than 5 minutes. I haven't felt it, but has anybody else felt it? Good morning, caller.
Oh my goodness, thank you. I thought I was going crazy. I'm sitting in my car and I'm like, why is my car moving?
Oh my gosh, where are you exactly?
I'm parked on West Bay Road outside of Queen's Court. And I'm sitting in my car putting on my makeup and I'm like, wait, why was my car moving just now?
Wow.
I felt it. I definitely felt it.
You felt it?
Yeah, it wasn't terrible of like the bad one we had a few years ago, but I felt a shake. My car was moving.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. All right. So, folks, 936-2626, tell us where you were and if you felt it. I'm sitting here in my office and I did not feel a thing. Patricia Blake says I felt it in Georgetown. Champion Hart. Me too, says Abigail. Sophia says her chair was shaking. So I think people more in town felt it. Did anybody else feel it in terms of the outer districts? I'm still waiting on the reports to come in on what we're talking about in terms of like the magnitude and so forth. Morning, Sandy. Anything about an earthquake? Yes, folks. We can confirm that there was definitely an earthquake. Thank you so much, honey. So yeah, that was crazy. I didn't feel this one, but Seems like a lot of people did. I seldom feel them. Last one I felt was the big one in 20, when was that, 2020, right before COVID shut down. Somebody else said that they didn't feel a thing. They probably just thought it was the usual vertigo. All right, so we're going to post this up on social media. And of course, folks, if you felt it, please let us know. We're still waiting on the details of the magnitude and so forth. Let me just go to the, what's the earthquake app called again? Some of you, I think Zeus felt it. He's like, yeah. Let me see. That one must have been, let me just see here now. Okay. There was, I'm still not seeing anything updated. Anyone received it on their phone yet? Earthquake app still hasn't reported it. Okay. So yes. All right. Well, we know we felt it. Everybody's like, look, we felt that one for sure. So we'll go ahead and post it up. The earthquake app, yep, that seems to be a little bit delayed in reporting it, but we will definitely, we're confident that that was an earthquake, because I think a lot of you kind of collectively felt it. And then I'm hearing information that, you know, it may have been, Zeus, did you feel it? Did you feel it? Ugh. Is that why you're a little bit antsy? What's going on? What is it? Was that an earthquake? Was that an earthquake today? He's like, I don't know what's going on, but something's got me on my pins and needles. All right, you can sit here. There you go, sir. My earthquake detector. Yeah, he was lying here quietly. Then all of a sudden he seems to be getting a little bit agitated. So Browse Tour says earthquake. Abigail says it was heavy. Vanessa, some people seem to have felt it. Are you in town, Vanessa? It shift your bed in Newlands, really, Tracy? Wow, I didn't feel anything. And I'm in Lower Valley, but that's interesting. West Bay, I felt it. Computer screen was shaking, says Christy Bothwell. Oh my goodness. John LaRue says nothing here in Crystal Harbor. Maples evacuated the building. Wow, that's a pretty big one for them to feel it. Good morning, caller. Did you feel it?
Good morning, Miss Sandra. No, I didn't feel nothing here in West Bay, but as we say, the weatherman has always said the big one is yet to come. So Cayman needs to prepare. And you know, I say this all the time. We can prepare for hurricanes. We can prepare for whatever tropical disturbance or weather that's coming. But earthquakes with what we call tsunami waves or tidal waves, we can't prepare for that. So this is a message to everyone in Cayman. Make sure you download the Ad Hoc app so that you can get your notification, because Cayman lives in a time where the rest of the world lives in a time, and the world is changing. And the forces, Sandra, that are at play with the atmosphere, we don't control that. We can't control earthquakes. We don't control tropical systems. So we just need to get prepared and as best as we can. And what lesson that needs to be learned from this earthquake here today, and pray that nothing else happens today or anything comes, is that we have to stop building on the coastline.
All right.
That's there to protect us. So I'll just leave it there. But
please.
I pray
Thank
that
you so
we
much.
don't have anything more, okay?
Okay,
and
appreciate
Cayman,
it.
please stay safe and thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Okay.
All right. Vanessa says yes at the airport. Shadika in Bodden Town felt it. Oh my goodness. Christina felt it twice on Elgin Avenue. Nothing like 2020, but yes. 2020 was that was one, but it went on for seems like forever. So that was a very different situation. That one I felt. Tracy says yes, very hard in Spots Newlands. Oh my goodness. I felt it in Snug Harbor, but Crystal Harbor, that's not that far from Snug Harbor, right? Still West Bay Road quadrant. John LaRue said he didn't feel it, but Maples has evacuated their building. Oh. Melanie says she got an email John says, I received the alert about 5 minutes ago. Browse Tour said that I'm in my bed, in my northward bed. I'm in northward, sorry. And my bed was shaking. Mr. Amelia, try and behave yourself. Beautiful 875 says, yes, we felt it in Savannah. I'm surprised I didn't feel a thing. I also received the earthquake alert. Thank you, plain and straight. Sarah says, Elgin Avenue, Georgetown, felt nothing. Okay. I think sometimes individual people don't feel it unless it's like really, really big. And then you kind of like a collective like 2020 where everybody felt it. All right, 936-2626. My apologies about having to interrupt the minister's interview, but we will play it. And yes, it is pre-recorded because sometimes it's pre-recorded for a reason, Mr. Amelia, so that she can get through, because we had a lot of grounds to cover without your constant calls and messages and interrupting the guests. So there are times that we do pre-recorded interviews, and it's for your benefit to just sit and take some notes. And then the next time she'll be on, she'll be coming on live. So Northward felt it. Prospect, Carrie Ann says that she felt it in Prospect. Miss Lily says, I felt it. My bed was shaking. Wow. Felt it on 7 Mile Beach across from the Westin, says Suzette. Really? Oh my goodness. Felt it twice as well in spots, says Miss Lily. Nothing in Governor's Harbor either. Dezika says, I felt it twice on Dr. Roy's Drive in Georgetown. Who else felt it? This one says, boy, cousin Vanessa can lie. I work at the airport and didn't feel a thing. They would have stopped all movements if we had felt it here at the airport. Well, this is what I'm telling you. I think that I don't think she's necessarily lying. Somebody else says that they're at the airport and they felt it as well. So I do think that people feel it sometimes and other people don't feel it, and you can be in the exact same location. So I've got somebody else at the airport. See, this is the third person now at the airport that says that they have felt it. So it's not that Vanessa is lying. You just didn't feel it for whatever reason. And I'm sure there are more people at the airport that felt it. So let's not be getting all up in our feelings now about poor Vanessa lying. She's not lying. Morning, felt it at Camana Bay Foster's. What? Okay. It hasn't appeared on the app yet, which is a little bit weird. And yes, big shout out to government. The earthquake alert has gone out on the phone from 8:46 a.m. We just had an earthquake, says Mary. Yep, we sure did. Yikes, didn't feel a thing. Another person says we just had an earthquake. I'm on South Church Street and didn't feel it. And somebody else says at 8:49, we're just getting the alert. Okay, well, that's okay. That's why CMR is here for you, honey child. We can make sure you know what's going on. All right, in the meantime, can someone help me find Amrit Nepali? Amrit Nepali, your driver's license has been found. Your wallet, I think, actually. So, we got some real live photos of people being evacuated. Thank you to our amazing listeners. This is what makes CMR the best, because you guys are the best and you send us stuff in real time. My son was working West Bay Road and felt both shakes. I felt it, and I'm in Georgetown Central. Now, here's a photo. If you've got any photos or videos, please feel free to send those in to us. But here is indeed a photo of Georgetown. You can see the buses pulled off and people outside of buildings. So it looks like some additional buildings would have been evacuated. So Karen Armstrong says twice on North Church Street. Damaris felt it in Prospect. I felt it in Snug Harbor as well, says Charlene. Didn't feel it in Savannah, says Urban Threads. Twice in Prospect, says Art Martian, 3 times. Douglas Tamika felt it 3 times. Wow. In Windsor Park. And Miss Charlene says currently in Prospect, but didn't feel it. Just proves your point, Sandra. Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I have long suspected that is the case, that there are people who can be in the exact same location. One feels it and one doesn't. All right. Okay, so yes, tomorrow, Japan apparently had a big one this morning. I live on the waterfront, never felt a thing. Good morning. Japan had, what size was the Japan one? I'm just trying to see. 10 kilometers southeast of Honmachi, Japan. Does it tell you what the, 4.4. And then Puerto Santa, Peru had one, 5.2. So ours, my apologies. The other one that happened, Japan had a few. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 in Japan. Is that all just today? Oh my goodness. Yeah, the 28th. Ooh, Japan is shaking and baking. They had a 6.8 this morning, 5 kilometers east of Uto, Japan. And then they had another one that was a 5.6. Those are probably maybe aftershocks, but big enough to feel for sure. Tsusanji, Japan. So Japan had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already today. China had 1. And I think ours is starting to, I must tell you though, although I tell you I haven't felt it, my head does feel a little bit unstable, like I do want to sit down. But I didn't feel any movement earlier, but my head is feeling a little bit weird. So Miss Marjorie says she's in Snug Harbor and didn't feel it. Andre is in Randite Gardens, felt it 2 times. Damaris did feel it. Sydney, yeah, it looks like Japan had quite an earthquake. Yes, Miss Stacy. Miss Alba, good morning. Did you feel the earthquake, Stacy?
Yeah, I thought I was dizzy because I was on the treadmill this morning. I thought I was dizzy.
You felt it just now?
Yeah, I thought I was dizzy because I was on the treadmill for 30 minutes. So
Where were you? Where did you feel it just now?
I was walking in Zeus. I thought I was dizzy when I come in, so I come in and make my coffee.
Oh my goodness. Sydney, make sure to turn off your water and check your meter to make sure no leaks are caused by it. Oh, that's a good bit of advice there, Jessie. Thank you so much for that. Miss Anita, let me just, Lord, hold on one second. It looks like pretty much all over felt it. Let me see if I can get anyone from hazard management on this show to tell us, kind of what they know so far. It's probably very, very limited, of course. Let me just see. Yes. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, so we're getting some details. Someone says, good morning, Miss Sandra, Miss Hill. I hope you're doing well. Have you received any reports in the last few minutes about the possibility of Cayman just experiencing an earthquake? Oh, okay. I just saw your post on Facebook. Thanks for the diligent reporting and keeping us informed. You're welcome. Yeah. Like I said, I'm feeling a little bit like my head isn't quite right. So I may, still nothing from the USGIS or EMSC. Wow. Check the Red Cross. They post in the group. My son was inside of his truck in town And hey, morning. Not bad at all. I was just wondering if you could jump on the show with us about this earthquake. You've got your phone? No, you can jump on without it being on. Just press the little button to turn it off. So let me just send you the link. Okay, hon. All right, we're gonna have Miss Danny Coleman join us here. Just give me 1 second. I will send her the link on WhatsApp. Yep, she can even join in from her phone. That's what I love about modern technology, honey child. Y'all don't know how we do it around here. Anybody can join us anywhere in the world in real time with just a link. So she's gonna jump on. Okay, give me 1 quick second. Let me get a chair because I am feeling a little bit like I probably need to sit. Folks, if you're just joining us, breaking news this morning, we have had an earthquake. And yeah. Okay. Okay. Should be 1920. Okay. Okay. All right, folks, give me 1 second. Let's just play a quick commercial while I grab my chair so that I can sit down. And then we're going to have Miss Danielle Coleman join us as well. Okay.
If you're a parent right now, you already know the cost of living has gone up. Rent, childcare, groceries. When the cost of living rises, government must rise to meet it. And we have. Under the revised ECAP policy, our Early Childhood Assistance Program, we've increased funding to keep pace with what families are actually paying today for their children's early education. Who benefits? A father working every hour he can. A single mother doing it alone. A grandparent raising grandchildren they love. Maybe that's you. Up to 235 Caymanian children will benefit directly. And I want every single one of them to have the start they deserve. That is why we're here. If you've applied before and been disappointed, I encourage you to try again. If you've never applied because you assumed you wouldn't qualify, now is the time to find out. And if the funding didn't feel like enough before, it should now. Is your child 3 years old and Caymanian? You may qualify. Visit us at moeapplications.gov.ky and apply for the 2026-2027 academic year.
All right, folks, thank you so much. And we're just waiting on Miss Annie Coleman to jump in. Okay. All right. Yep, we're trying to get as much information as we can. 936-2626, the phone lines are open as well. And we can appreciate, someone said in the middle of evacuations, I message you priorities. Thank you. So WRC has evacuated their building. It won't be reopening until 10 a.m. We've got some announcements here now. After the building has been checked for structural issues. Thank you. And yeah, wow, what excitement this morning, I tell you. Okay. And then we have, is it possible you can manually share the live on your Facebook page as it's not so we can clear? Okay, yes. Give me 1 second. Like I said, you're absolutely right that Facebook is temperamental sometimes and doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So give me 1 second. Let me just pull the feed and share it on the main page. Yep. Okay. Who else felt that? My goodness. All right. Thank you so much for reminding me about the Facebook feed. And I will do that right now. Earthquake updates, honey chill. Give me one quick second. All right. It's times like this that you gotta be on your toes, honey child. All right, I've shared it directly on the Facebook page. Thank you so much for the reminder that we needed to do that. And let me just check and see. Someone says it was 7.1 or 6.2. Not sure yet. I've not actually seen any details. And we do have some information on earthquakes that we'll be sharing here shortly, courtesy of hazard management. Thank you very, very much for this information. So we're going to see if we can get Ms. Danny Coleman on from hazard management. But in the meantime, we can go through some of the tips and things that we know. This person says scary. Good morning. Felt it in Lower Valley too. All right. Okay. Nothing in Countryside, Mona. You probably just didn't feel it, because I'm telling you, if we felt it past Countryside, definitely it was, there are probably people in Countryside who felt it. But yeah, this happens all the time. They're just people who don't feel them very often. Miss Dawn, good morning. Diamond Princess says, I did here at Cricket Square. Morning, Nathina, good morning. Blessings, Leanna says, God got us covered, have faith. Lucky Body, and listen, these things are, they happen. So quite commonly, in fact, more than you realize, because most of them you simply don't feel. We don't have the details yet on the actual magnitude. We are waiting to get those details. John says, you have to torture us with Raleigh commercials every day. Well, forget about who's in the commercial. It's about a really, really important funding for people who can't afford it, honey child. So bear with me, John. Yes, you will be tortured. All right, we've got Miss Danny Coleman on the line here with us. Good morning, Danny. How are you?
Good morning, Sandy, and good morning, all your listeners.
Yes, a bit of a
surprise.
Start
Morning, yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Tell us from a hazard management perspective, what are you guys aware of thus far?
So we are awaiting the official notification. As you're aware, in the past, we have to wait for the USGS.
Yes.
But of course, we know a large number of people have felt an earthquake here this morning in the Cayman Islands, including myself. You're just down the road, so I'm sure you've felt it as well. So obviously what we're asking everyone to do is to be aware that there may well be aftershocks. And of course, to expect those and to practice earthquake safety. Now, we don't want people outdoors because, again, given that we are on an island, there's always potential if there is a large earthquake for a tsunami. Now, we're not expecting that in this situation. Again, but we do have to make sure we're practicing being as careful as possible. So we ask everyone to ensure that, practice earthquake safety and expect those aftershocks. And just wait for more information. As soon as we get the official sources, we will be notifying the public very widely as to what that looks like.
Now, it's so interesting that some people felt it almost in the exact same location and then other people didn't. How do you explain that?
It's a really tricky one, Sandy. I think at the end of the day, I know we all felt, I'm in Savannah, just down the road.
Yeah.
And, I'm not in the office today, but everyone in the office, we literally called each other at the same time.
So you felt it because you're not far from me.
I felt it pretty strong this morning, and then I felt a bit of a blurb. So so I think it's been felt across the island. I've just tried to get through to Mr. Mark Tibbetts, and I believe he's called me as well. So he's seen it. I don't know if he's felt it, but we will be reaching out to sister islands, and of course, getting that message spread as widely as possible as soon as we get the USGS notification. But again, I think, whenever there's an earthquake, we really need to be diligent and make sure we're doing everything we can to keep ourselves safe and to, again, make sure that you're practicing safety and not, running outdoors to the coast in case there is anything else that we need to concern ourselves with.
All right, can we just go through some notes here? We know that this is good advice that you guys always have on your caymanprepare.ky /earthquake on the website. So again, during an earthquake, the actual movement of the ground is seldom the cause of injury or death. Most injury or death actually comes from the collapsing of structures, falling masonry and other objects. So does that mean then that if you're inside, we hear some corporate companies in town are evacuating people. If you're inside, should you go outside and just stand outside the building?
No, we always want, I think the problem is with the Cayman Islands, obviously we are very coastal. So with a very large earthquake, there is potential for a tsunami. Now, that's why we have a slightly different take on it than somewhere like, an inland place that experiences earthquakes on a regular basis may have. Our response has to be different. One, the building codes in the Cayman Islands are very structurally sound. So staying in the building itself is the right thing to do. We've done a lot of work over the years with, for example, with surveyors, and to decide the best approach for anyone in the Cayman Islands who feels a very strong earthquake. And I don't think this morning can count for a strong earthquake, but again, the general rules apply that you'd stay in the building. And again, wait for further instructions to see if there is any concern in regards to a tsunami.
Okay. Now, Miss Marjorie says that they always tell you to go under the dining room table, but her dining room table is made of glass.
Yeah, definitely not near the glass. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a very good point, Miss Marjorie. At the end of the day, when we say the strongest structure, tables are really.
Danny, we can't hear you, so I don't know if that's if we've lost you completely. Could just be the internet there. So let's just wait and see if we can get her voice back there. Yeah, but I think what she's probably going to say is, you have to look at situational awareness is important, and just being aware, in your specific house, right? If you've got a dining room table that's made of glass, obviously, logically, you don't want to be anywhere near glass. So that's sliding glass doors, glass dining room tables. Who still has a glass dining room table, Miss Marjorie? Time to get yourself a good solid wood one, honey child. So yeah, it looks like her internet cut out there, but and most important thing is to stay calm. We got you, honey child. The good Lord got you. We got you. Everybody's okay. We're together. That's what I love about this show. When something like this happens and we're live, we can talk about it, right? And we can just keep each other calm, and you keep each other calm with accurate information. Christine says that she felt it as well. So no glass dining room tables, sliding glass doors. Danny, you're back with us. Thank you.
I am back. So I think what's happening is obviously the phone's ringing off the hook. So I keep getting cut off. But again, it's just practicing safety. So yes, Miss Marjorie, definitely nowhere near a glass table. You've got to consider yourself things like fans or things that may fall off the walls, like candlesticks or pictures, that kind of thing. Just stay away from any structure, thing that might fall off the wall in the event of a very large earthquake. Yeah. Now, again, I don't think this morning's earthquake would suffice for that. I don't see a lot of things falling off the walls at all. It was just a minor blip, but I think it's one of those things we all need to be aware about how to respond in the event of any earthquake, even when there's aftershocks, and just be sort of, earthquake aware.
Yes. And so some people are saying that they felt it 3 different times. Would those be 3 earthquakes? Is that normally just an earthquake and then the immediate aftershocks?
Well, I think, nothing's on the official sources yet, so it's very tricky to know what's happened and what's not happened. I definitely felt the first one was a bit stronger than the second sort of blip, but again, I've only felt 2 potentials. I have seen a number of people say 2. I haven't seen anyone else yet say 3, but I do think it's one of those things that, again, it's very much a, potential for aftershocks. And I just think we have to be aware that that's a potential to consider for the next day and a half or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. And folks, so if you're indoors, please stay indoors. And just be mindful if you're driving. Again, there's specific things around that. People don't tend to feel them when they're driving, though, right? Because they're moving.
It's funny. Yeah, we we do, a lot of people do feel it, but sometimes the rubber on the tires actually don't it will stop the actual vibration. So that is, a number of people have felt it in the cars. I'm not sure about today, but it has been. I can see from our sensors in the office that we have had some seismic pickup of activity. So even before the USGS, we do have other tools that we utilize.
Yes.
There definitely has been a vibrational setting that's been set off in our office. So yeah, there's definitely something this morning. But just, if all the public can know that, just be earthquake aware, know that there may well be aftershocks, and just to practice earthquake safety. We've seen a lot of things going on around the world over the last, few months in regards to earthquakes. And I think it's unfortunate, but it's one of those things that these minor blips do happen, and we just got to make sure that we're aware of how to respond. And, again,
And stay calm, for sure.
And stay calm. And again, that, as you say, is the biggest thing. It's things in a very strong earthquake, things will potentially fall off the wall, and that's what's going to be perhaps more damaging, unless, of course, if there is a tsunami. And again, in this situation, there's nothing. We usually get a notification very, very soon on from the Pacific Tsunami Warning Centers. Nothing come through as of yet. But just stay away from the coast as a precaution. Just practice again safety.
Yeah. Okay. All right, folks. So again, hazard management has their specific protocols. We actually did quite a good interview some time back. I need to dig that up and play that again because
get that back up.
I know we went through all of the details on what hazard management does. They do a lot of things, folks, and they have very sophisticated tools there in their office. And, they're able to know things, but there's a specific protocol that they must go through in order for them to give any details. They can't speculate. They can't, think we think it was a 5.2. No, they have to wait until the official word has come through. So we're also hearing that Owen Robert International Airport has evacuated people outside as well. This morning, we heard that Maples, has asked their staff to go outside as well. So some of the corporate entities are actually taking people outside. Is that still good advice if they're at work? Because I know pretty much you've said to stay inside.
Yeah, we are really, I think we'll have to reach out to those organizations, because it's just really, again, Cayman specific. We've done a lot of work around Cayman specific earthquake, and because there is always a potential threat of a tsunami, we have to make sure that we are staying indoors and again, waiting for the tsunami all clear before we venture outside.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've done a lot of work with schools over the years in regards to that 2020 earthquake. A number of people have just said they felt 2 aftershocks now. So there's a lot of reports coming in.
Yeah. This is obviously a real-time situation here, folks. That's me trying to work on my overlay. Let me just sort of fix that here. All right, so lots of real-time information coming in. Let me just, okay. So thank you so much for clarifying that the proper thing to do is to stay indoors, folks. So even Owen Roberts International Airport, let the people stay inside. Don't send them outside. So Miss Danny, those are at least 2 organizations that, I think her connection is a bit iffy today. And like she said, so many people are now calling her, but do not evacuate your buildings. Maples, Owen Robert Airport, don't evacuate. So again, specific to the Cayman Islands, evacuation of buildings is not needed. Yes, hi Danny.
Sorry, Sandy.
That's okay.
Just go. Okay. You know how it is. So yeah, please stay indoors until the all clear is given of the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. Now, again, just to bear in mind that sometimes this takes an hour and a half. It's a long venture at times, because they have to analyze. And given we've had a slight change in approach from the US on some of the modeling, we sometimes have to wait a bit longer. So we're just wanting to make sure everyone is aware of what's happening. If you haven't downloaded your National Emergency app, please do so. That was first to come out this morning. And again, we already have about 11,000 listeners on that. So we really encourage people to do that. So they will get the alerts straight away. But again, thank you, Sandy, for all your support.
Yes,
We really
absolutely.
appreciate it to help spread the word. And again, if you could just carry on with this earthquake messaging, we'd
Yes.
be really grateful.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Danny.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. all.
Okay,
Take
have
care.
a good one. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, folks. So again, evacuation is not recommended. So I think, again, some people are operating on old information. So no evacuation, stay indoors. If you're inside, it says stay inside, stay calm. Take cover under a heavy desk, table, bench, or a reinforced doorway or corner. Evacuate by stairway, not the shaking stops. When the shaking stops. Never use elevators to evacuate after earthquake. If you're outdoors, stay outdoors. During earthquakes, many injuries occur as people are entering or leaving buildings. So move away from buildings, utility wires, glass, hanging signs, or other objects that might fall or cause injury. Get to an open space and stay there until the shaking stops. I think we need some clarification around this, because when you say get to an open space, if you're indoors, an open space indoors. So we'll just get some clarification on all of this. But if you're driving when an earthquake starts, slow down carefully and come to a stop in an area free of hazards. When you move off after the shaking stops, proceed carefully, because there could be fallen trees, poles, or splits and sinkholes in the ground. So do we have any idea what size we're talking about yet? Miss Romelia said she didn't feel a thing and she's in West Bay. So yeah, Japan had a, well, what I looked at earlier said 6.8. So sometimes different agencies will report a slightly different magnitude earthquake. So did anybody else feel it? Celine says, Danny, thank you and Hazard Management for all that you do to keep us safe. Yes, absolutely. We appreciate them coming on the program. And my apologies that we had to interrupt the minister's pre-recorded interview, but of course, this obviously took precedent over that. I did not feel anything, and I'm in West Bay, says Krista. Yeah, like I said, it's one of those very bizarre anomalies. Some people feel it and other people don't. And you can literally be in the exact same location. Miss Stacy said she was outside walking Zeus and she felt it. I didn't feel it, but afterwards my head started to feel a little bit weird. And so I felt like I needed to have a seat. Yeah, feeling a little bit like I had a, what do we call it? Vertigo moment or something. And I don't really get vertigo, but I did kind of feel like, Okay, so there we are, folks. Breaking news this morning: the Cayman Islands has had an earthquake and possibly a couple tremors or aftershocks as well. So Sharm says it was a 5.0 and she felt 2. Do we have any official report on the systems as yet? So this person says, my parents felt 2 shakes in East End. I'm off island on vacation, praying for everyone's safety back home. We're good. We're good. Let's remain calm and zen. Everybody's good. As Danny said, we're so fortunate that we have amazing homes that are built to withstand a lot. One thing about Cayman, we've got really decent, and that's why we got to keep it that way. We've got really, Child Zeus is sleeping. He's sleeping through the whole thing now. He's like, I'm good. We have really decent infrastructure. And so there's a lot to be said for that. Okay, so we're getting some reports now from the reporting apps. And one says a 4.5 hit at 8:42 this morning in 17 seconds, 29 miles, and it was 6.2 miles deep. 27 miles southeast of Bodden Town. So this is the report that we have just now received. And so thank you so much for that. Let me see, somebody's jumping on the show. Miss Danny Miss Danny, you're back?
I am back indeed.
Hi.
We have just received the USGS confirmation that it was a 4.5
Yes.
kilometers southeast of Bordentown.
I was just saying that. In fact, I'm just
Yeah.
going to pull it up here on the screen.
Awesome.
Yeah. So as they go, that's a good size one, but it's
It
not,
is, yeah. It's
yeah,
a fairly
so that-
substantial size. I say
that
substantial
explains.
again with our there's been a significant number of felt reports, but again, it just goes to show the time lapse between the official and
Yeah.
the felt reports. And I think it's just everyone needs to be aware that obviously we have to wait for the official sources, but in the meantime, if you feel anything or if you get word of mouth, and again, thanks Andy for sharing the info. People really just need to be a bit aware of as to how to respond. And if there is any aftershock, just know it's quite a normal thing to have aftershocks and just practice safety.
Yeah, so a lot of people have these apps and alerts on their phones, and they're just saying that they're now just getting them.
Yeah, it's quite late. It's well, and we're never sure because again, I mean, 4.5 is substantial enough, and it should have come through.
Right.
But a lot of it depends on obviously what's happening in the office at USGS and everything else around that situation.
Yeah.
So we just want to make
So
sure. that we're all ready.
pretty close off of Bordentown there. It says 44 kilometers southeast of Bordentown.
Yeah.
And of course, people as far as West Bay even felt this one. So
Yeah.
very, very interesting.
We understand there's no felt reports in Little Cayman. I'm still waiting just to get confirmation
Okay.
from Cayman Brac, but a large number of people have definitely felt it in ground.
Okay. I'll check in with some of Brackers as well. Thank you so much, Danny.
Thank you, Sandy. Really appreciate it.
All right, my dear.
Have
Thank
a
you
great
too.
day. Take care.
You too. All righty. So we're now starting to get some idea of the size of it and the location specifically. 27 miles. No, not 227 miles, 27 miles southeast of Bordentown, which is right off the coast, basically. Debbie didn't feel a thing. She's in Mount Pleasant. Lenny says, yep, says 4.5. So, yes, 4.5. Did I say 5.0? No, it's 4.5. Charm, I think, was saying 5.0, but everything I've seen reported so far actually says 4.5. Felt it at work in Camana Bay, says Venetia. It was strong, and we're at the top floor, and the whole building. Ooh, yikes. Now I'm getting 4.5 in my app. Yeah, I mean, the information, normally the apps are pretty quick, so I'm not quite sure. This morning they seem to be a little bit of delay, but she said, it certainly depends on what's happening at the USGA and all these other official reporting agencies. Jess is in West Bay. I didn't feel any shaking, but I felt a serious pressure and a sudden heat in the air. Oh. Thank you, Miss Osborne, for keeping us updated. Who's Miss Osborne? No, that's Danny Coleman. The hazard management team. Yes, hazard management notification came in pretty quickly, so well done. Thank you, Christy, for acknowledging that. Well done. So this is a great time. Thank you, Adrian. This is a great time to remind you guys that here in the Cayman Islands, we do have our own emergency app. Let me have a look. I know I have it installed. It's called, oh gosh, hold on. Let me see. I got an alert as well. It is called, oh boy, dun, 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 dun. App. What's the app called again? Oh shoot, I can't remember now. Hold on. Let me ask Danny. Yeah, so it's times like this that we need to remind ourselves about the importance of having these apps installed. So the USGA has confirmed a 4.5 as well. So let me just ask her then, who can remember the name of the app? And I'm trying to see if anyone felt it and Cayman Brac. Any Cayman Brackers? I'm messaging someone right now in the Brac. Ad hoc. Yes. ATHOC. You can go and download it. Thank you so much to our amazing listeners. Doesn't look like anybody felt it in Cayman Brac from what I'm hearing. This person's like, nah, we didn't feel anything over here. All right, so 10 kilometers deep, 675 kilometers was the distance, and they give you the exact coordinates of it. 45 kilometers, or about 27 miles off southeast of Bodden town. So out there in the ocean, but trust and believe me, we still felt it. So that would be the epicenter. When they tell you that location, that's the epicenter. Finally, it's on the USGS page, says this person, yes, indeed. Let's just have a quick look at this. Give me 1 second here. Hold on. Hold on, honey chill. Let's just have a quick look at this. So thank you so much, C. Ebanks, honey child. While we were here worried about our camera not working, look at what was going on. We actually had an earthquake coming our way this morning. Window, yep, here we go. There we go. Just wanted to bring up this USGA page. Oops, hold on. Before presenting, remove other media. What other media? Okay. Oh, yes. Hold on 1 second. Okay, give me 1 second here. All right. So, seems like a fair number of people most certainly felt this earthquake this morning. And again, the overarching message is just to remain calm. Everything's okay. We're okay. We're good. And, you know, lots of people felt it. And so I suppose that's to be expected. And then there we go. So I wanted to share this. And I don't know what's going on with my camera. My camera is awfully temperamental today. But there we have it. Thank you so much. The NENS app. Yes. So if you go in the App Store, you should be able to find it. Please download it and make sure that you have it turned on. We can get all of the notifications. So Miss Gwendolyn says, I didn't feel the earthquake, but I felt a hot wave. Huh, so interesting. So it says organization code doesn't work. Well, I think this is a good time for the people who work with the app. And I think it's the weather people who were involved in hazard management and getting that off the ground, that they maybe do another appearance in the show to just remind people how it works. Ms. Valdine in Cayman Brack says that I live in the Brack at the creek and I didn't feel anything. So I think it's fair to say that Cayman Brack didn't feel anything. Yeah. All right, let me try to yeah. All right, well, we'll have them come on at some point and go over the app again, because I think it's important to ensure that we have those details. This person said, powerful earthquake, buildings may crumble, old buildings may break down into dust. Not in Cayman. I tell you what, even our older structures have really stood the test of time. We have had stronger earthquakes than this. And I can tell you that they didn't have that type of an impact on us at all. What we had happening was, yeah. What we have is like sinkholes. And I think there's a greater threat of a tsunami than probably anything else. All right. So I'm just going to post up a new one. Again, The reports are that certainly it's been felt pretty widely across the island. All of the districts, more or less. I haven't heard from anybody in the East End. Did somebody mention somebody that their parents in the East End felt it? Debbie says always comes south of us, like Ivan and all major hurricanes. Gabby says the earth has been crying out. It's only going to get worse. Even more animal behaviors have changed. Well, the good news is that there have always been earthquakes as long as the earth has existed. But we no longer live in the cavemen days. So now we know what is happening. So imagine living in a time when you had no clue what this was even and how scary that must have been, right? When you thought, oh my God, the gods are coming for us, or the devil, or, they had to explain these things normally through a religious context or damnation, or, they just didn't have an understanding of it. Now we have amazing knowledge and information so that we know exactly what is happening. And so, yeah, I'm thankful that we at least have that information available to us. Look at how quickly, it wasn't as quick as normal, but still within, less than an hour, we knew the exact location and all of the details of it. Toki, we do have an emergency alert system, and that is the app that we're talking about, but you have to make sure that you register for it. Now, ironically, I do know from my experience in other jurisdictions that they have systems whereby they do have systems that you don't have to sign up for. I've been in Florida before when I was literally in a restaurant and all of a sudden all of the phones started going, and I was like, what the heck? And so I can't remember if that one was a test alert or something, but although I don't even live in the US, I did have my US number, my US SIM activated. And I received that along with everybody else in that restaurant. Like it was a collective message that went out to everyone. And so we have one here, but with Caymans, you have to actually register for it. You have to sign on. And I think there's some kind of registration process. So it's a little bit different, but yes, we do have an emergency app. So make sure you, like I said, we'll invite them on the show and see if we can't. I don't know what's going on with my camera today. I'm giving up on this camera. This camera is just all kind of rudeness. So yes, we do have a system and it works because I did get an alert from them this morning. Sorry, it wasn't the full like crazy, but it still popped up with a notification. That's because mostly I keep my phone on silent. I'm in the East End and I did say I felt nothing, but not everybody, Miss Barbara, just because you didn't feel it doesn't mean that other people didn't feel it. We have experiences, and we've just proven that this morning, where people are claiming that there's nothing at the airport, but multiple people actually felt it at the airport. So it doesn't mean that the East End didn't feel it. It just means that you didn't feel it. So that's what we've discovered, is that two people or more can be in the exact same location, and some feel it and some do not. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. All right. Okay, so just having a quick look here to see what else we have. Okay. All right. So just be mindful that it's possible in the coming days that we may have some additional aftershocks from this. So, I don't think we have any need to panic. The only thing we're going to panic around here about is why Auntie's camera is so, it's forcing me to go look on Amazon for a new camera. That's what I'm thinking. Ay. What a hot mess. Honey, chill. Okay. My apologies. Okay, honey child. Okay. Okay. I see. All right. Let's see. Katie says not much people know that they can put the alerts on their phones. Yeah, well, we need to do some more education around that then, if that's the case. I'm here in West Bay and I felt it here at work, says Yareli. Don't please tell everyone that we are okay. I think everybody's aware of that, Miss Marjorie. Don't worry. Lisa says the airport is closed now. Really? They evacuated people and closed the airport? Where's CIAA? Can we get anyone? Which ministry does that fall under? Let me see. Is that Mr. Gary? Hold on. Okay, let me see. All right, I'm gonna try and get someone about the airport. Right, let me see who I can find. So someone says there were 2, felt them on the 3rd floor. So this earthquake map.live recorded one at 5.1 and then one at 4.5. So that's showing that there were actually 2 earthquakes, which is interesting. Good morning. I was inside of my house in Mount Pleasant and I did stumble slightly. Thought it was a reminder to do some squats, but then heard about the earthquake. So it could have been the tremor, most likely. Yes. So let me see. Okay, so I'm trying to get some confirmation on the airport to see what the situation is there. Thanks, Lisa. Just trying to chase that up to see if we can get some details on that. Miss Lily, she received the alert on her phone. Stuck in Orlando because of it. Oh my goodness. Well, hopefully they'll be opening it soon. Ay. Can't find the app again. All right, I think the takeaway today is we definitely need a refresher on the whole app and how to do it. So I'll get on that. Gabby says everyone is entitled to have their own beliefs. If you don't agree, that's fine. Miss Anita, good morning. Barbara says, I would think that the better way to notify would have the alarm set off in the schools, as every district does have a primary school. But you do realize that I mean, what kind of alarm? Yeah, every district has a school, but you're not necessarily that close to the school. Like, how loud would that have to be for you to hear it? So say, for example, the only school in West Bay is West Bay Primary, right? That's down by, what is that area called? The town hall? No, is that town hall? Yeah. By the field, right? By the, you guys know where the primary school is. But if I'm all the way in Highlands, how am I going to hear that? Like, that would have to be a seriously air polluting alarm. Like, I think most people have phones now. So, good morning, caller.
Yes, Miss Sandra, the airport, I just called CIAA and they said, the Kamaya lady there said that people had went outside, but the airport is is open. It should be open back again. So I don't know
Okay.
whether they closed it down. She didn't say whether they closed it down. She said person sent
Yeah, she's
outside,
saying
but
that
they
she's in
should
Orlando,
go
but I
back
wonder,
inside.
I wonder
Yeah.
if I wonder if they're getting misinformation in
Yeah.
Orlando. I think okay, let me reach out to
Probably,
Minister
that's probably
Jay.
the Southwest flight coming in
Yeah.
that they're calling. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Later.
Mhm. Thanks, darling. So
You're
I'm just gonna confirm with the ministry team about the airport because I don't think the airport's closed, Lisa. So in Miami, they may have it kind of, but the all clear has actually been given. So even if it was closed for 5 minutes, there's no way that they can be closed now. So yeah, you'll be fine. You'll soon be able to get on that plane. But the all clear has now been given. We're going to go ahead and post that up. We can confirm no tsunami alerts or anything like that. We should be good to go. Anthony, oh, are you in? I wasn't quite sure what that was about. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So two of you having a discussion. I was like, what? I'm a little bit lost here. So Anthony had said, stop the fear mongering about earthquake crying out. Earthquakes have been happening before Jesus was in Pampers. I mean, that's how the earth formed, right? So yeah. Yep. All right. Okay, Lisa, I think you should be on your way soon. I think you guys are good. As the all clear has now been issued. So we're going to go ahead and post that up as well on our social channels. And yeah, okay. Well, I think that thankfully, we're all okay here with it. You know, one of the things that I'm looking forward to when CMR Radio goes live, fingers crossed, that we're going to be getting your license approved next month at the board meeting. Once we have it, we have control over, you know, like real time. Like say we needed to go a little bit extra on the radio this morning. I can't do that on somebody else's station, but I can do that when we have our own station. So these are going to be some of the benefits of CMR Radio coming live and direct to you soon. So the plan is, let me tell you how we anticipate this working out. Once we get the approval from OFREG, aka ERCO, we then are going to give ourselves, realistically, I think 5 to 6 months. I'm going to do it in 5 months if I can. I'm going to expedite the situation because I would like to, by January the 1st, have CMR Radio launched. So bear with me as we go through all of that, because I have my team on standby, the engineering team, the technical team. We've identified a tower and we've got space on the tower, and we're going to get all that stuff figured out. And then it's just a matter of ordering equipment and having the workers start to put the equipment in. And, you know, there's a lot of technical stuff that has to be done in the background, fitting out our studio space and so forth. But praise the Lord, hallelujah. January the 1st, I'm hoping that we will be going live from CMR Radio. And I'll tell you guys as we get closer to that, what the actual frequency will be. So again, the all clear has been issued. They've sent out an email to everyone as well. So if you're on the app, I think you also get access to the various emergency emails. So ensure that we get signed up. And we'll have someone come on perhaps before the week is over. We will have someone come on to the program about the apps and how you can make sure that you have it installed, and how you can ensure that it is also working properly. Okay. So yeah, we're good. All right. Again, my apologies that we had to stop the Ministry Matters interview. But what I will do is I will, let me just double check something here. I will actually what's going on with my computer today? I feel like it's Moving kind of slow, honey child. I will ensure that we have, okay. Yeah, I think I'll try to get them on tomorrow just to quickly go over the show. And then what we'll do tomorrow then is the first half of the show, we do need to address this guy who has been trying to take a dig at Caymanians and Cayman Airways. We need to talk about him. He's low-key getting on my last nerve, but we will calmly and professionally discuss how some people are their own worst enemies and they just don't have a clue. So we will do that. And then we'll play the remainder of the minister's interview as well. So we got to 13:57 with the minister's interview. So we'll just back it up just a little bit. But please tune in for it because it's a lot of really, really good and absolutely useful information. So I want to ensure that you guys hear it because there's a number of things that are coming up in the near future as it relates to consultation on a number of different bills. And so everyone, we want you guys to be participating in that. Okay. So make sure you tune back in tomorrow morning. We've got a full show for you. All right. All right. I think it's safe to say that we are all marked safe. So Liana says, what about Cayman Airways now? Again, let me just see if I got a message from the ministry. Okay. Okay, please advise people that if they have the app already, just delete it and download it again. All right. Airport got the all clear. People are back inside. My brother's at work. So great. Okay. All right, folks. Yes, wonderful. If so, in an earthquake, the airport must check all areas. That includes the runway. What if the pavement split? Yes, but I think this earthquake. It was very quickly assessed that this particular one did not cause very much damage. The one in 2020 was very different. And so that was a totally different situation in terms of sinkholes and other stuff opening up. So we had to be more careful about that. Cameron says, we know how much Off-Reg loves CMR. Actually, I don't have any issues with Off-Reg. We are very, very compliant with what we need to do. That's why we take a very strict position with you all, the listeners and callers in the program. And if you do anything before 9:30, we're going to put you in the naughty corner almost permanently. You guys got a reprieve for our anniversary this year, but don't count on it ever happening again, honey chill. Invite him on the show so we can hear both perspectives. Nah, we're not giving him that much clout. Trust me, some people just want attention. And to me, it is so obvious. Yeah. Nah, we're not giving him. But I do want to correct some stuff because he is upset with us. And we're not even the ones that he should be upset with. Yeah. People are so ignorant. People are just so incredibly ignorant. So if we have an FAFO show, those will only be on social media. They're not going to be on radio ever because, that's when we use our complete freedom of speech. And, we may use certain words that we could not utilize. But I don't know if you guys notice in the new year, I have really this year not been popping off quite as much. I found my zen. Cameron told me you love learning new words after 9:30. No, man, I found my zen. Repost the minister's interview so we can watch it today. You guys don't want to watch it during the show? No, we're gonna watch it during the show tomorrow. We'll watch it, although there's still 300. Okay, let me take a quick vote. There's still 366 plus Instagram of you here. How many of you would like me to continue the minister's interview right now? I mean, this is more than was watching it earlier. So by a raise of hands, everybody that wants to watch it right now, as opposed to tomorrow. So tomorrow we can just pop off straight away. Say yes. Let's do a quick vote. Yes, let's watch the minister's interview now. Let me see. Yes or no? And then I'll just notify people that the Ministry Matters interview will continue now. So yes, let me know quickly. Okay, let me see what the vote is. Let's see. Yes, yes, Sandy, yes. All right. It's an hour-long interview, so we're about 15 minutes in. Found the Lord. Oh, I'm trying to behave. Lily says no. It's going to be popular vote. So who else wants to vote? So far, the yeses have it. Give me a few more. Okay. I think y'all just want a pop off segment tomorrow. Auntie, please don't waste your time on him. Yes, says Patricia. All right. So I think the yeses have it. So let's go ahead and bring in, again, this is a pre-recorded interview, but it has a lot of amazing information in it. So please continue to watch, stay tuned, and hopefully we won't have any other breaking things that we have to interrupt it for. All right. Thank you so much.
And the entire team have been working, our epidemiologists and a deputy epidemiologist, they're all working hard to ensure. And
let me just hold on one second.
That will all come.
Let me just ensure that we can actually see
public
her.
health unit that sits in the ministry. The benefit of having it sit is that first and foremost, it takes that responsibility off of
Just give me 1 second. I'm going to just upload it here. 1 quick second. Thank you. I'm just going to re-add it. And then I will just today with the honor. Let me just fast forward it. We were about 13 minutes and change in. So there we go.
private practitioners to partner with government. And so this is an example of seeing that in action. We have a number of private clinics that have joined in with government to offer the HPV vaccination free of cost. And this is a vaccine that is catered to young people ages, 9 to 25, I believe, if the numbers are correct. And it is to prevent cancer, various forms of cancer within young people. So again, trying to ensure, we don't really have a lot of data on the statistics of our cancer statistics on island, but we know for sure that by offering this vaccination to our young people, we're doing, a great deal of prevention from health perspective.
Yeah, I'm glad that you actually brought up the HPV vaccine, because recently we saw some news coming out of the UK where now they can definitively say that that vaccine has, almost now in the UK. I'm just going to read this off because I think this is such a game changer. And just about last week it was released. But a landmark UK study has found that women who were offered the HPV vaccine as adolescents had an almost zero risk of dying from cervical cancer before age 30 now. So this is the first study that has directly demonstrated a reduction in cervical cancer deaths, not just infections or precancerous lesions. So when we talk about vaccinations, this is why vaccines are important. They've been game changers. They're saving lives. And, now 164 countries around the globe have introduced HPV vaccination programs nationally or subnationally. And so, of course, Cayman is one of those 164 nations. But there's so many moving parts to health. So let us dig a little bit deeper. So the Move It Cayman campaign, which has just wrapped up, you say was very, very successful. It drew over 1,000 Team Fit registrations over 12 weeks, and it just wrapped up at the John Gray High School there. What did that response tell you? And then second to that, how do we now keep the momentum going now that the campaign is over?
So first, let me start with your second question. How do we keep the momentum going? While I have an opportunity, I want to let the public know that the survey has been extended. So for those persons who participated, if you get a chance, complete the survey. Please visit the ministry's website and complete the survey to share how you found the experience. Did you use the app? How did you find the app? And then in terms of where we go from here, and what was your first, pretty much for where do we go from here, right?
Yeah, so, well, what did the response tell you? Because that was a really good response.
The response tells us that the people in the Cayman Islands are concerned about their health. And you know, I think everybody wants to do whatever they can to be healthier. And it doesn't cost anything, you know, after dinner to go out for a walk with your family. So again, what it says is that the public health unit, which is now, and this is another thing that I'm proud of in the ministry, we are now transitioning the public health unit from HSA to the ministry. And from a public health standpoint, you know, we want to ensure that, you know, our residents are healthier. And so giving them the information and saying, this is how you control your health. So following the movement challenge, which is part of the implementation of the STEP survey, then we will go into educating the public on, well, what do you do? How can you couple healthy eating with exercise? So the ministry is going to be rolling out an educational campaign on reading food labels and, you know, looking at how much sodium you should consume. And so I'm excited about that part because I think a lot of us still have a lot to learn on how we can control our health by just what we put in our bodies.
And so I think the takeaway here really, and I know this of course on a personal level, is when people are engaging each other, we're talking about it, we're having conversations like, you know, maybe let's not do fast food today. That'll be once in a while of a treat, but stay more focused on our diet, get moving. You know, you might have seen that for a number of months we were doing a squat challenge during the morning show. And people were like reminding me, hello, you've not gotten up and done your squat challenge. You know, we've fallen off the wagon a little bit now, but we're going to get back. But yeah, when you have that camaraderie, you have the group think really, where people are like, we can do this together. Let's motivate each other. The buddy system, holding people accountable. Did you get your steps in today? So that's healthcare at a community level.
Correct.
And it works.
It does work.
Yeah. So really, really interesting. And I'm looking forward to seeing the next rollouts as that program continues. So you talked about public health unit and the transfer to the ministry started in April.
Right.
So in plain terms, tell us what changes for the public. How will the public see a difference when it comes to public health?
So the only difference at this stage is that the public health unit that focuses on collecting the data for our community, educating the public, such as the movement challenge, that really came from the public health unit, looking at health programs, whether that's a vaccination program, whether that's a screening program, you know, that will all come from the public health unit that sits in the ministry. The benefit of having it sit in the ministry is that first and foremost, it takes that responsibility off of a healthcare facility so they can focus on patient care. And then from our perspective at the ministry, it makes it easier for other facilities to comply with the law, right? Because you're no longer seen as reporting to what would be seen as perhaps maybe a competitor, right? So you're not reporting your findings to another health facility. So that is the benefit of having the public health unit sit under the ministry. And that's just the interim phase. We're moving further than that. And the goal is to move and transition from a public health unit to a department of public health.
Okay.
Again, then, broadening out the scope of work. But for now, this is where we're at.
Yeah.
And so far, the CMO, the deputy CMO, and the entire team have been working hard. Our epidemiologists and the deputy epidemiologist, they're all working hard to ensure that, and also don't want to forget about our chief nursing officer. Everybody is working hard to ensure that we're getting ready to get to a place where we can start to collect the data, because as we've seen, COVID was a perfect example where so important to know what you're actually dealing with and how you can respond to it. So that's the exciting part about it.
Yeah. And do you think we'll see things, I guess, eventually when it's a department, quicker response times, if there's an outbreak of, any sort of infectious diseases, as well as, just operationally, I'm sure we'll see some changes at that time.
Definitely. And not just, I wouldn't say that it's just a result of the transfer over, but going back to talking about our legislative agenda that we have coming, the new public health bill has, subject to being approved by Parliament, has some provisions that will help us to be able to respond quicker, if there is a national public health incident that might not constitute a, what you would say, state of emergency, but it's a public health emergency. So certainly there will be a lot more room for faster response, and there'll be more requirements to report notifiable diseases. And again, by having the public health unit sitting in the ministry, then it's going to be mandatory for all practitioners, facilities to report, if they have come across a patient that has a notifiable disease or so forth.
Very good. Okay, so recently you brought in some new senior health leadership, including a deputy CMO and a child safeguarding lead. How does that translate into stronger prevention and accountability?
Right. Stronger prevention and accountability comes when you have a robust team. You're only as good as your team. What the Office of the Auditor General has flagged in a number of their reports, and we're talking about way back 2017, is that there have been deficiencies in the Ministry of Health. Not just the Ministry of Health, the Department of Health and Regulatory Services. And by having a larger staff complement at a senior leadership level, then you're able to roll out more national policies, which I'm so excited to announce some of them that we have in the pipeline, just about ready to be finalized. But if I can just pause and highlight some of the new additions. So, and I'll try not to mispronounce our deputy CMO's last name.
Okay.
I know he's very, very popular on the island. But first, I'll start with our new CMO. We have Dr. Hilary Wolf, who started last year. I think she started last year in October. And then we also have now our new deputy CMO. First time ever having a deputy CMO, Dr. Mark Parmalal. I know he's known to many Caymanians on the island, so it's good to have Mark come back home and take up this role as a Caymanian in this space. And we also have a new deputy chief officer, Mrs. Exie Tomlinson-Panton. So she has also joined the health team as the second deputy chief officer, making sure I get the titles correct. She joins along with our Deputy Chief Officer, Mrs. Bobeth Ogaro, who is already in the ministry. So the health team has a full complement now to support the Chief Officer. And then in addition to that, we also have, for the first time in the ministry, our child safeguarding lead, who many might have seen the recent press release, Miss Carolina Ferreira, yes, thank you,
Yes.
Sandra. And then more recently, our new deputy epidemiologist, Mrs. Hallie Miller. It's a young Caymanian, and she is supporting our epidemiologist, Mrs. Rachel. I can't remember Rachel's last name, and I hope she will forgive me. But Rachel is no stranger to Cayman. She's been our epidemiologist for quite some time, and she's worked with a number of our CMOs. So it's good to have such a great team, and we're working on important things like the National Cancer Policy, which is actually hopefully going to be approved by Cabinet in short order. We're working on the oh gosh, there's so many things. I mean, I could go on and on, Sandra.
Yes.
But you've heard me talk about the draft legislation, and all of the individuals that I've mentioned have been instrumental with all of the work that I've been doing.
All right, so just a few more questions about health, and then we're going to move on, because naturally there are lots of moving parts when you have multiple areas of responsibility under ministry. So youth mental health is always at the forefront of a lot of parents, especially a lot of their minds. What actually is being done, and what would earlier, better support look like for a family that needs help?
Okay. So youth mental health is an area where I think the public knows we have had challenges in that space for quite some time. So we've had the Alex Panton Foundation, who has been working very closely with HSA to provide support. Since taking this role as Minister of Health, I have established the Ponciana Advisory Council. And what they've been able to do is assist the ministry by advising on how we could operationalize or fully utilize Ponciana Rehabilitation Center. So whilst it's not fully utilized, it is now in a position where we are able to take patients, mental health patients from HSA who are subacute or non-acute, and that has then taken the strain off of the mental health ward, giving us the opportunity to then separate the mental health ward so that our young people, our youth and adolescents, have a separate unit or ward that isn't conjoined with the adults. Coupled with that, so that was the immediate solution. Coupled with that, right now we are working on, with planning, on a designated adolescent ward for mental health at the Health Services Authority. So that's currently at a planning stage, and we're going to repurpose a particular area of the hospital, and hopefully, by the end of, I would imagine, we probably wouldn't see it completed before mid to end 2027, but that is ongoing. And then, of course, in terms of how can we address the issue, I think we are now starting to look at, having the child safeguarding lead, certainly looking at health facilities. But in addition to that, we just recently appointed a new director for counseling services, Mr. Rail Roberts. And I want to take a moment to just thank outgoing director, Miss Judith Seymour, for all of her hard work over the years as it relates to counseling services. But we're looking at, taking a more preventative approach and trying to find ways to get our young people the support that they need before they get to an acute phase. And so Rail is working along with Deputy Chief Officer Babette, and this is an area that Parliamentary Secretary Wayne Panton is leading. Everybody knows he has been an advocate for mental health in Cayman, and so he's taken lead on mental health in the ministry. So they're working now at, a number of different initiatives, which I will give him an opportunity to speak to when he comes on to your show.
Yeah, fantastic. And just sort of final question, I think, before we go on to the broader heading of Protecting Cayman. The ministry just ran its first Health, Safety, and Environment Culture Survey at DEH Solid Waste Facility. Why start there? and what's next?
Okay, well, I just would like to, I know that I don't have much time, but I want to just share with the public a little bit about what we've been doing. So I don't want to misquote his position. So we have a health, safety, and environment specialist
Okay.
who is working in the ministry. And the initial plan was to look at all of the departments under the Ministry of Health and prepare protocols, for workplace safety. And he'd actually started with MRCU. So MRCU now has a robust safety protocol where whenever their staff starts in the mornings, they do safety briefings, debriefings. They have certain safety protocols. So we've seen an increase in our safety measures. The plan has always been to have this health and safety measure across all the other departments. But after the landfill fire, what was decided is that I thought, after speaking with PS Panton and Chief Officer Tamara, we decided that we were going to take a focused approach on the Department of Environmental Health to, ensure that we're being more proactive and preventative in terms of safety of our staff, because the landfill fire certainly has taught us a lot. And so that's the reason why we've started there. I think it's because it's the highest risk.
Yes. Yeah.
So they just recently did a survey with staff, and it was a great response. So it shows that staff were really happy to now have this focused attention on how can they be safer in the workplace. And of course, that's our duty, right? It's our duty to make sure that when everybody shows up to work, they are working in a safe environment.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's transition a little bit our minds now to protecting Cayman. 6 areas were protected under this year's order, and the Hemington Forest in Cayman Brac became Cayman's first designated national park. Which of these stands out to you and why? So this is talking about environmental protections.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think they all stand out. I think just the fact that, I am working with a government that is, amenable to protecting the environment. And of course, the one that is at the forefront of my mind, we just announced last week, was the Ironwood Forest protection. And I think why that stands out the most to me is because it shows where there can be a balance, right? Where we can protect the environment, but also move forward with infrastructure upgrades. So that one for me is probably the one that stands out the most because it's the most recent one. But certainly I'm proud that we have been moving forward with protecting areas in Cayman Brac, right here in Grand Cayman. And like what I say to the people in West Bay, we are looking at doing the same thing as it relates to certain areas in West Bay. Everybody's passionate about barkers. And the representative for West Bay North, Minister Anglin, he is very keen on making sure that we continue to protect barkers. So looking forward to having more to announce in that regard.
Yes. What is the Cayman Islands Resilience Index?
Yes, the Cayman Islands Resilience Index is a platform that it comes from the climate change policy, and it's one of the implementees. So there's a number of strategies to implement the policy, and it is a platform where any project that's being done can be measured in terms of resiliency, how you are preparing for climate change. And we just recently finished all the public consultation on that with the ministry team. And I want to shout out to Miss Lisa Hurlston and also Karen Ford, who have worked really, really hard. The beauty of that exercise was the buy-in from the not just government departments, but also the public, who were keenly involved in finalizing, or I guess you could say enhancing, the final product. So we had OFREG, CUC, and a number of different departments from government sat with the ministry team and the consultants that the ministry has hired and provided their feedback on how this program could best be, utilized. So we're still working on the final, I guess you could say the final phase of completion, and we're hoping to roll that out to the public very soon.
And so then following up from that, what will the index actually help Cayman understand or plan for?
Well, I think, I guess to just safely say, it's just a plan for, future proofing. I think we're now at a stage where everybody's appreciating that climate change is real. And, making sure that when we are investing in any type of project that we're factoring in, the components of just, setbacks, resiliency in terms of how we're building certain projects. So I think from that standpoint, it's just really in terms of ensuring that we are planning appropriately as we move into a space of just seeing where the weather is changing, temperatures are increasing, sea levels are rising. So,
Yep. Yeah, we've been struggling even in recent months with the Sahara dust coming over and how that's impacting people with underlying lung capacity or lung issues. So, yeah.
And I just want to say that what we've been doing from the ministry, again now, we're starting to see where environmental health and health are pairing together. And I've received a lot of feedback from the public, especially people who suffer with sinus, allergies. As you mentioned, I didn't realize so many people in Cayman have COPD. But again, getting those notifications that the dust alert, today is probably not a good day for you to go outside if you are deemed as vulnerable. So again, these are the things that we're looking to enhance in the ministry through the Department of, or the Unit of Public Health.
Wonderful. You mentioned earlier the amended litter law, which now raises the penalty up to $5,000 or 12 months imprisonment. What behavior is government trying to change? And in addition to simply increasing the fee, what else might we expect to see coming about to increase, more public awareness and hopefully decrease littering as well?
What I think the government is trying to achieve is we're trying to take Cayman back to what Cayman used to be known for, which was, this clean, pristine island. And that's who we are as Caymanians, I talked about it in Parliament. Caymanians were known to be proud people who on Christmas, you'd see them back in clean white sand and having their yards nice and neat. So the objective of increasing the penalties, putting in regulations so that we can have administrative fines, again, taking the burden off of our legislator, and again, ensuring that penalties are being imposed, is to make sure that we are keeping Cayman clean, a place that we can be proud of. What the regulations actually does is, you hear a lot of people talking about not enough enforcement. So we actually have increased our enforcement powers. We've given enforcement powers to a number of different officers, police officers, conservation officers, environment officers, and then again, change some of the mechanisms and how vehicles can be removed. So there's a whole lot coming, but it's the teeth that have been missing in the legislation. So it's going to be a real game changer in hopefully very short order.
All right. Wonderful. Well, that sounds good. The landfill, you also just briefly touched on that. And I know that this is a legacy issue that, people are understandably frustrated by. What is happening in the meantime? And can residents help through any sort of reduction in usage and recycling? But I think we probably should have a totally separate interview just about the landfill. But just to give us a brief overview of where we are with the landfill, generally speaking.
Right. Okay. So certainly, I said it on a couple of other platforms, and prior to coming on to the interview today, I've already gotten a commitment from Director Sims
Oh,
so he's
good.
going to come on the show with me, and we're going to
Wonderful.
do a deep dive so that we can really get to talking to the public about,
Yeah.
where we are at, how we got here, and
Yeah.
where to move forward, in a real detailed, concise fashion.
Okay.
But for today, since we don't have a whole lot of time, what I can say is that the ministry is working on exiting the current project agreement, and that entails a land transfer agreement. And so that component is critical in order for us to move forward. We need to know what we are going to be able to do with the land that is there. While we're doing that, there's also a component now of looking at what's next. And as most people will know, but there's some that might not be aware, when you're doing a large capital project, you're required to do a business, I think it's a 5-stage business case. So the ministry is working on all of the groundwork required for that process. We're looking to see if there's any way that we can reduce the time and still follow and comply with the law. So that is all happening while we are, we've already started to take some lessons learned from the landfill fire. So we've now started to add cover, which, as we've saw during the recent fire, the cover actually, and compacting the cover or fill, it chokes any fires before they reach the surface. So, and I think that is in line with best practice.
Okay.
So, trying to deal with the landfill in line with as close to best practice as we can, considering that it's a legacy issue and some of the ways in which it has been processed before wasn't in line with best practice, but we're trying to bring it in line with that now. And then coupled with that is we're looking at finding a longer term solution. So it's sort of like 4 stages. It's exit, we're looking at the planning and design, and then moving into a procurement stage, hopefully in very short order.
Okay. All right. Well, we know, again, we'll be getting into that in a little bit more detail. Let's talk about energy relief. Again, hot button topic at the moment. Lots of people have the bills now rolling in, and we see the impact of the increase in the fuel across, we were just talking about it earlier today, across the entire world, quite frankly. So what are we looking at in terms of a short-term energy relief along with longer-term efficiency and solar plans? And I guess, how does that fit together for households?
Right. Well, I want to shout out Parliamentary Secretary Wayne. When he was the former Minister for Sustainability, he had a vision to roll out an energy efficiency program, which many people might remember it was referred to as the CHAIR program.
Right.
So we kept that in our ministry portfolio, and what we are looking to do is to bring that back to start addressing the bigger issue, because the interim issue right now is providing relief when it is most needed. We're, anticipating to have a heat wave this summer. The rates have increased. So the government has offered interim relief. We did consider rolling out the CHAIR program now, but the issue that we would have had is the residents that would have benefited from that relief wouldn't have felt the impacts at the time when it is most needed. So we decided as a government that we would start with the interim measure at a time when everybody is feeling it's hot, the rates are high. And then moving into 2027, we are going to roll out a program for retrofitting homes, trying to incentivize and support spray foaming roofs, looking at how we can encourage people to get more energy efficient air conditioners, and also looking at supporting with more solar in the community. So those are the initiatives to bring down the cost of energy. And whilst we wanted to take the holistic approach now, we were mindful that that wouldn't have really been felt at a time when everyone needs it.
Okay, very good. So let's talk about some consultations. There's a lot coming up
Yes.
in the months ahead. And so you've got some consultations certainly in the month of August across a number of different areas. So you're asking the public to weigh in on 4 bills.
Right.
So the question is, why now? And why does this consultation matter?
Okay. Good question. Why now? Well, first of all, I'll just go back over and share with the public that the Ministry of Health has been busy. So we have the Public Health Bill, which is being amended to pull out all of the environmental health components which sit under public health and creating a standalone environmental health bill. That bill will provide some protections that we don't have in legislation. For example, protections around air quality, protections around water quality, sound quality. You hear a lot of people complaining about noise pollution. So that draft legislation will cover that. And then the public health bill will set out the functions of the public health department, the public health, the director of public health, the role of the CMO and CNO. And in addition to that, we also have a tobacco amendment bill. Tobacco amendment bill is focusing on the regulation around vaping, because right now there's no regulation around vaping. So I know that's going to be important, especially for those persons who vape. So again, the reason why we are coming out to the public is because we want to get feedback before the bills get down to Parliament. And then also the Health Practice Amendment Bill, which is, we're taking a holistic approach at the Health Practice Act. This is just a few changes that we need to address right now. And they are around expanding our nursing training, because we have always relied on the relationship that we have with the Nursing Council of Jamaica, and we're very grateful for that relationship. But now Cayman is preparing to stand on our own feet. So this legislative change actually is required in order to facilitate that. Why now? I need a glass of water, Sandra. Why now? Why now is because typically we do 28-day consultation period.
Yes.
The public will then provide feedback after the bills have been published. And then when we go down to Parliament and we're debating the bills, if we've received feedback that warrants an amendment, the amendments are made at committee stage. What we're trying to accomplish by going out to the public early is the feedback that we receive from the public will be considered by the ministry, the policy team, the legislative team, and more importantly, the cabinet. And those changes then could potentially form part of the bill that will be published 28 days before we get down to Parliament later at the end of summer.
So you're giving yourself more than enough lead time then.
Yeah, we want to make sure the public has a good opportunity to.
Yes.
We saw recently just a few changes that we made that, the health, the amendment that we made to facilitate the indigent health insurance. The feedback that we received in Parliament from the opposition was they felt that more consultation, even though we did the 28-day consultation period. So this is just really listening to the public, listening to the opposition, and ensuring that we are giving the public a fair amount of time to give their feedback, more than enough time. And I want to just encourage the public to come out to some of our sessions that we're going to be having, which I know I'll probably share a little bit more about that in a short while, but come out and join the conversation, understand. We're not going to be reading the law.
Yes.
We're going to be explaining in layman's terms what the intention is, why we are looking to make these changes, and then asking you, the public, to provide your feedback if you think this is something that is positive, something that we should do, or if you feel that, this isn't something that we should be considering. We want to hear that feedback as well.
So the environmental health bill, which is a landmark piece of legislation because it's Cayman's first standalone framework of its kind. What everyday issues does it cover?
So the environmental health bill covers some new provisions that were not in the public health bill or the Public Health Act, sorry. And some of those provisions are air quality controls. And that was actually flagged when the EIA was done for the previous waste management solution. And we were going to have to deal with drafting legislation around air quality controls. So this piece of legislation will provide for air quality control measures to be in place, which we're already working on, despite there not being a legislative requirement at this stage. In addition to that, noise pollution. So again, how this impacts the community, talking about air quality, making sure that even if the air quality isn't good, at least the public, there's reporting mechanisms in place. And then from a noise quality, I mean, a lot of people complain about, loud music. People complain about certain activities happening on weekends that are loud. There's no way to monitor that right now. And so this is what will be provided in the legislation. So those are just a few of the pieces. A lot of what the Department of Environmental Health is doing in practice will be covered in this legislation. For example, there are provisions around our I can never say this properly, I always think of Dr. Lee when he's a laboratory. Again, provisions for the lab too. Just talking a bit about how they function and what their duties are in terms of, testing, food quality. Oh, wow. So again, like I said, a lot of what they're already doing, but just putting it, some of the things that are not in legislation, putting it there. And then again, how that works from a public health standpoint with the chief medical officer and the advice that the chief medical officer would be providing to the ministry if there were, let's just say, a public health incident that required immediate attention.
Really looking forward to seeing that one. Again, folks, that's going to be addressing everything from air quality, noise, and vibration. And I think a lot of communities will certainly know that that impacts them directly. Vaping, a concern amongst young people, serious concern.
Yes.
We see things about popcorn lungs and some of the longer term now impacts of the vaping habit, which is really, I'm surprised at how quickly it has taken over even from smoking. It seems like everywhere you go now, you see someone with a vape in their hand. What's on the table specifically for the tobacco amendment bill?
Well, one of the proposed amendments to the bill is that we would be looking to restrict the sale of disposable vapes. Again, thinking about the landfill and the lithium batteries. Whilst it might seem like a small device, these are devices that when they end up in the landfill could be causing some of the fires that we're experiencing. So that is, again, trying to be proactive and preventing future fires. From a public health standpoint, another public health standpoint would be trying to ensure that there's regulation around the sale of the vapes. So they would need to be sort of displayed in the same fashion that we're seeing cigarettes. There's no regulation on that right now.
Wow.
They can be placed out like candy.
Yep.
Again, warnings on, just like how you see it with cigarettes, health warnings. So those are some of the things that the bill is looking to cover. In addition to that, right now there's no regulation around where they can be used. So I know some people have been complaining that, there's someone vaping inside a building. So again, looking at putting more regulation around the use of vapes. So those are just some of the few high-level changes that we were looking to implement.
Okay. And can you tell us?
Sorry. Very importantly, restricting the sale of vapes to anyone under the age of 18. So again, making sure that it's clear that this is not something that can be sold to anyone under the age of 18. Very important. So forgot to mention that.
Very good. And can you tell us a little bit about the Health Practice Amendment Bill and what changes might be coming with that?
So the Health Practice Amendment Bill is we just pulled out a change that we need to make now. We will be making a holistic change to the Health Practice Bill for 2027.
Okay.
But what we're doing now is we're putting provisions that are required in law for the nursing council in order to facilitate the registration and licensing of our nurses here in Grand Cayman. So just some changes around that aspect. And again, maybe on the consultation road, maybe something else might be highlighted by some of the practitioners that might be a quick win and something that's needed now. But for now, that is really the one change that the Health Practice Amendment Bill would be covering.
Right. And of course, we saw in real terms how that was important because there were nurses, and I think, CMR certainly reported several stories on this, where nurses had not gone through the correct protocol to be, properly vetted and licensed, but because they went through a third jurisdiction like Jamaica to, do certain things, they kind of were missed. And that closes a loophole for potential fraud. And I think that's obviously something that there's an urgency to that.
That is definitely going to be beneficial for us to be able to do the licensing right here. For me, what I guess speaks to my heart is the ability to be able to encourage Caymanians to just stay right here in Cayman, do all your training, do all your testing here. And that is what the hope and the goal is for the National Coalition for Caymanians government, is to create more training or career pathways in healthcare. So this is just one element, is nursing, but we're looking at doing this in other areas of medicine.
Wonderful. All right. So let's talk now about the public consultations. Of course, people always hear, you've got this 28-day consultation period, public consultations coming up. But I find that a lot of people don't participate because they feel like, does public input or feedback genuinely shift a proposal before it reaches Parliament? So if you've got people listening to this interview, Minister, and they're thinking, why bother? Right? What would you say to them? Why it's important to get involved?
I love your question because for me, I always talk about people power. Now, people power will not be as impactful if you wait till the day of Parliament when we're debating the bill to stand up in front of the Legislative Assembly and, hold up a sign. Where people power is important is when we have public consultation and you come out, you listen to the reason why these changes are being made, and you make an assessment within yourself, listening to the information provided. Do I feel this is good for Cayman? Is this something that I think we will benefit from? And in the ministry, every piece of feedback has to be recorded. The minister has to take that feedback, collate it, and then go back to the caucus and explain, this is the feedback that we've received. We consider those recommendations, and then we determine, what? And if it's something where it's an overwhelming response from the public, then as elected members, it's our responsibility to say, hold on a minute now. This is how the people feel. So I really implore the public to take the time to give feedback on the recommendations that are being made, including the young people. We're going to be talking about vaping, come and hear what these amendments are going to be. And if you feel that they are, it's all about public health, right? It's about making sure that our young people, our students don't have access to these vapes at a school age, but importantly, also looking at safety, preventing landfill fires. So again, Sandra, thanks for the question. I encourage the public to, even if you don't have time to read the bill, even if you can't come out to our public consultations, I'm sure we're going to be working with you, Sandra, and asking you to at least air one of each of the topics so that the public can understand what is the reason why we're making these changes. And then you can simply reach out to your MP, share your feedback, or write in, even if you want to do it anonymously, just provide feedback so that we can appreciate the concerns that are out there in the public.
Yes. So there'll be different methods of participation
Yes.
for providing that feedback. In case someone can't attend the in-person meetings, they can perhaps through a website send comments, questions,
Yes.
that sort of thing.
So what we are hoping to do through the ministry is we have, so we're reaching out directly to every licensed practitioner because we're talking about healthcare, and we will be having consultations with them at a different level, just discussing all the intricacies of, the health practice. Then we are going to have a public consultation on the 3rd of August in West Bay at the John Gray Memorial Church Hall. That's where we're going to be talking about the environmental health bill. And then the following day on the 4th of August at the Seafarers Hall, talking about the the environmental health bill. What we decided is everybody's working, you get off work, you don't want to be sitting in a meeting for 5 hours hearing about, 3 different pieces of legislation. So we broke it up. We're going to be focusing on environmental health one night, and then
You got the health legislation town hall.
Yes, that's going to be on the 28th of August at the John Gray Memorial Church Hall, and then again on the 27th of August.
So I have the 26th of August.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
There, that's okay.
26th of August
Yeah,
in
and
West Bay.
we'll put these up,
Correct.
and folks, just to let our listeners know, obviously there'll be ample notification on all of our social
Right.
media channels about the consultation dates, times, and locations. And as the minister said, we're actually going to look into live streaming some of these as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
so-
even if we can't do it live, because I'm not sure what your program will be
Yeah.
looking like, at least have it recorded and then have you play
Right.
it back at a later time.
Absolutely.
Again, giving the public
And
an
then the
opportunity.
sister islands, not to be left out, they will have some consultation opportunity coming up starting on Friday the 7th at the Ashton Ruddy Civic Center for Cayman Brac. And then again on August the 8th, the venue is still waiting to be confirmed there.
But that's in Little Cayman.
That one's in Little Cayman. Okay.
Yes, and we certainly didn't
Wow.
want to
I'm so
leave
glad
our...
to see Little Cayman being included.
Oh, yes, certainly.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we're inclusive of our sister islands because, they're concerned about all of these issues as well. So we want to make sure we factor in everybody's feedback.
Yep. And so the 28-day official public consultation period will open on August the 21st for all 4 bills. But if you notice that the date of a lot of these meetings predates that,
Yes.
so that there is information that's in the public arena for people to then consider and think about, and
And provide feedback to
Yes.
the ministry so that if we need to make changes, we can do that before we publish it.
yeah.
We also want to be mindful of our legislative drafting department. I want to shout them out. They're working so hard. There's so many pieces of legislation right now. Just financial services alone, we have so much to do in terms of being ready for the next round of evaluations. But in addition to that, from health, we're keeping them very busy. So what we don't want to do, or what we're trying to avoid, is having to go down to Parliament and then at a committee stage. What a lot of people don't appreciate is that when we make those changes on the floor of Parliament, the legal team have to stay up and make those amendments right then and there. So we want to make sure that we're avoiding having last minute changes if at all possible.
Well, Minister, you've been busy, that's for sure. A lot has obviously been going on, and we want to thank you so very, very much. And we know that our listeners have a lot of takeaway points from today's interview. The minister will be joining us on a regular basis on the live show for Ministry Matters, where she can take your direct feedback and comments. So Minister Katherine Ebanks-Wilks, I just want to thank you, the Honourable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks, I just want to thank you so much for taking this opportunity to speak with us and to give us a bigger picture overview of some of what your ministry has been working on and what else is going to be coming definitely in the months to come that we should all be paying attention to.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you for having me. And it's been a full discussion. I think I've covered a lot, but really looking forward to coming back on the show, giving the public an opportunity to ask me questions. And I think the show that I'm looking forward to the most is to be able to sit with Director Sims and really just have a discussion so that we can share with the public just exactly what we're working on and answer questions, because I know it's concerning for many people. And just looking forward to it. Thank you for agreeing to have the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability sign on to Ministry Matters. It's certainly a platform where I know you utilize to educate the public and share with them what each ministry is working on. So looking forward to continue to share with the public all that we're doing.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.